got time, cuz. Today I got time, cuz. You lucky on that day I was acting cool, cuz. Nigga, what's up? How gangster are you, cuz? I don't fuck with you, cuz. You disrespecting me. I don't fuck with you, cuz. You disrespecting me. I go hard, cuz.
I'm tired, y'all. I just got off of the plane. I'm like, what in the world? I was out in Atlanta partying till like 2:30 in the morning. What's up, y'all? I'm exhausted right now. My youngest just came and got me out the airplane, and he's like, oh, they're bombing. And then Kenya was sending messages. I was getting messages from everybody about these bombs. So I'm like, okay, I can either go to sleep, I can just go live. Because I'm like, I don't want to then not be able to sleep. I want to just go live. But when I tell y'all, Atlanta don't owe me nothing, honey. TT is back. I'm back in these streets, bitch. I'm outside, okay? I had such a wonderful time in Atlanta hanging out with my friends. Like, I really miss my ATL friends. Like, for real, for real. Like, we had a ball. So last night, Robert, who is Tamar's manager, he was having his birthday party. And so we kicked it till like 2 something in the morning at the club. Then, we're going there. I was getting driven back to my Airbnb. So we had to sit out there and talk for like another hour. And so by the time I laid my head down, I had already packed up most of my stuff. My head didn't hit the pillow till like at least maybe like 4. And then my best friend who lives in Atlanta, she called me, Sharnetta. So she texted me and she didn't hear nothing. So she caught the phone like, are you ready? I'm about to come get you, take you to the airport. And I'm like, I literally just laid my head down. But I had to catch my plane. And y'all know the Atlanta airport is insane. It's crazy. So we had to be out of there by like 7:30. Made it all the way. Thank goodness for Clear, bitch. Made it through Clear. Made it all the way. And I was like, okay, I'm going to, just try and get some sleep. But it'd be hard for me to sleep on the plane. So long story short, I'm tired. Like, I was shaking my ass. Yeah, Tamar Braxton, honey. I be in these streets, okay? And the night before, we was with Jessica White and Tammy Rivera. Like, I had a good time. When I tell you, I've had a good time. I'm going to be back in Atlanta more. Oh, hold on. Hit the button.
You lucky on that day I was acting cool, cuz.
My earbud said, do that shit again. Run that shit back. I'm sorry. It was slipping, so I had to, like, push it back in my ear. But, yeah, no. So I haven't even posted no pictures, no videos. Because I just been tired. I'm like, damn, how I go from having a good time, I'm in the club, shake my ass, having a good time, dancing. And then it's like bombs. Like, what the fuck? Damn. Like, I just want to enjoy my little outside moment. But, yeah, it's a lot going on right now. And I'm not feeling this shit, okay? Because now I want to be outside. Now I'm traveling. You know what I'm saying? My youngest is like, are you going to be home this week? I was like, I don't know, maybe. Okay, you're grown now. But it's so funny. I guess they be missing me, child. I'm like, shit, y'all grown. And I'm grown. And I'm out. But I think I want to go to New Orleans. But anyways, I was supposed to go back to New York because I want to be out there this week for the whole Diddy thing. Because from my friends in New York, they're saying that they're thinking that the trial is going to conclude by the end of this week. Today is Monday. So I was thinking about flying back out there. But now with all this shit going on, child, I'm just like, damn. Okay, today I don't got time for this, cuz. Okay, I don't know if I want to, like, fly to New York because I feel like New York, LA, y'all are hot right now. These are hot spots. I know the police is out, they're talking about sleeper cells. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be outside of a courthouse and there's potential sleeper cells. You know what I'm saying? So I'm really trying to debate. My youngest is like, no, you need to just stay here in Minnesota where it's I was like, okay, Dad. So he just don't want me in the club popping it, okay? But I don't know. I'm really trying to debate if I'm going to go. I mean, I guess I could just find out the results from the safety of my home. I don't know. But I really did like New York, and I did plan on going back because I had such a good time out there. But I'm really trying to, like, play it smart. There's a lot of stuff going on right now. Just internationally, it's very, very scary out here. Like, for real. Look, everybody's like, stay home. Ooh, look at all the dead. Can I run the streets with my thugs? Tell me, you need to stay home, T, because you ain't been streaming like you normally stream. Auntie got to have a life too, honey. Okay? I had to get up out. And it's fun because it's like all of my people's, like my closest friends don't live in Minnesota. I really don't have any friends here. I got my cousin Tola, a few of my cousins, and that's it. Like all my friends live out of town. So, you know what I'm saying? Them is the people who really rock with me, who support me. Ain't a bunch of weird energy, jealousy, none of that shit. So it's like, those are the people you know what I'm saying? I be trying to like vibe with my real friends. And unfortunately, they don't live in Minnesota. I don't really have friends in Minnesota. So it's like all my peoples live out of town. So it's summertime. So I'm trying to be where they at, okay? I mean, like you want to be around people who got the same energy as you. You know what I'm saying? Where everybody's fighting to pay the check. Not everybody sitting back with their arms crossed waiting for you to cover some shit because they just know you have it. You know what I mean? You want to be around people who are on your same vibe. So it's like, I think I had kind of just been stuck and just, you know, y'all know I've been going through depression. I've been going through a lot of shit. You know what I mean? But now I'm coming out of that. You know, I got my little therapist, honey. And it's helping me. So it's like I'm reevaluating a lot of stuff. I'm reevaluating a lot of things in my life. You know, 2025 is the year of change. There's a lot going on cosmically. There's a lot going on in this world. There's a lot going on with a lot of us in our personal lives. So I just been reevaluating, cutting and removing people out of my life, you know what I'm saying? And making room for new people, better connections, you know, people that I genuinely vibe with, you know, in the space with other people who are handling their business, you know, who are go-getters. You know, they're not sitting here studying you and being monitoring spirits, you know what I mean? Because they have nothing going on with themselves. So, you know, it's just a lot of weird energy. Like I want to be around people who are also go-getters, you know what I mean? And that's what it is. That's why I like going down to Atlanta. Because people down there be like really, you know what I'm saying? They be on their business. So I had a good time. I just like being around positive energy. And it was so funny because when I was leaving, Freddie ass finally woke up. He was supposed to take me to the airport. So he was like, where you at? I was like, I'm about to get on the plane. He was like, no. We about to go to a crab boil tonight. I was like, no, I'm leaving. He was like, I didn't think, he said, he thought I was leaving Atlanta at 7 p.m. I said, no, I'm leaving now. I was like, my plane, I had to be at the airport by 7 a.m. Like, oh, because we had you down for a crab boil. I said, damn. I could rearrange my flight. And I was like, no, my son ain't gonna have that. He's like, no, you need to be back Monday. He wasn't gonna let me stay another day. I've been gone since Thursday. They've been calling. So yeah, he was like, no, you need to come back. I'm gonna be at the airport by noon to pick you up. So I had no choice. But I'm gonna try and get back down. I had a good time. I did. Oh, hold on. Sparga said it is the year. I forgot it was the year of the snake. That's interesting. It's a lot of snakes. You got to make sure that garden is cut so it can expose all the snakes and get them out your garden. For real. Because like I said, we are fighting a spiritual war. And a lot of people will attack you on a spiritual level. It's not a physical. You know what I'm saying? I'm too old to be out here fighting. I will defend myself. But a lot of people will attack you spiritually. You know what I mean? I told y'all the story in Discord about that man, that Somalian man. He grabbed my arm. I had to wall out on his ass, and then he just disappeared like a ghost. He just disappeared. So, like, yeah, like, people really be, you know, sending people at you, like, on a spiritual level. I don't know where the fuck the man came from, but as soon as he grabbed my arm, he didn't, like I tell y'all, some of these people walking around aren't even fucking human. And if I was not on the phone with Marquis, I would not have believed it really happened. We broke it down in the Zoom meeting, but like I said, so people really be trying to come at you, like, on a spiritual level, and you got to watch out for that. But, yeah. Yeah, look, Marquis said, we've been out here spiritually windmilling. Honey, ain't that the truth? Spiritually windmilling and praying and fasting and rebuking people. And when I tell you I am so, like, grounded and just been in my affirmations and my prayers and everything else, because there's a lot going on in this world. Like, I pray for a lot of people, you know what I'm saying? The Discord family, my immediate family. And I just pray, you know what I'm saying, that, you know, anybody trying to send hate and bad energy spiritually, mentally towards me, it will just return to sender. That's why when y'all be getting so worried about me, like, walking and stuff, like, y'all got to calm that down. That's why I jumped off the live yesterday, because it was like, you need to watch where you're walking. I walked from the Mercedes-Benz Arena all the way back to my Airbnb. It took me an hour. It didn't feel like nothing. Regardless if I go live or don't go live, I'm outside. I walk everywhere. Like, I'm a walker. That's why I love New York, because I can walk around so much in New York. And I can walk for 5 hours and it don't even feel like nothing. I like to walk. So it's like, I get what y'all is saying, but again, I be prayed up. And I just don't have that type of energy where you're just gonna run up and just say something crazy or be disrespectful. I'm gonna give you the same energy you give me. You know what I'm saying? Point blank, period. But yeah, I walk by myself. I don't give a fuck. Crackheads, homeless people. Bitch, I'm on a mission. Okay? God sent me here. Jesus has my back. Okay? But I had a good time. I like walking. So, just use common sense. Keep you some mace and whatever else you might need. But yeah, it didn't even feel like nothing walking from the Mercedes Benz Stadium back to the Airbnb. It was a nice walk. I talked to another one of my friends, Darius. Me and him had a real good conversation, on the way back. So, yeah. No. I wish they would have. Don't worry, honey. I got off alive because it was a bunch of damn MAGA people. I was like, where did all these MAGA people come from on this good Sunday? And they was just popping their shit. So I was like, you know what? Y'all not about to ruin my energy because it's the brainwashing for me. It's the excuses for me. But, again, make sure, and like I've always said, I don't care who people vote for. That's your business. But you're not going to attack me because I don't agree with what's going on. I have the right to my opinion, but you're not going to sit here and drag me and come for my wig and come for my looks and all types of shit. Because like I always tell y'all, if y'all don't like me, you don't like what comes out my mouth, you don't like how I look, bitch, go watch somebody else. I'm sure Megyn Kelly is live right now. You can go sip tea over there. Okay? But whatchamacallit, so I got off. It was so many MAGA people just complaining about stupid shit. I was keeping it real yesterday on my walk, and it seemed to be bothering the demons in them because they were getting real upset, kept writing MAGA. So I was like, you know what? Y'all not about to ruin my good Sunday. So that's why I logged off. Wasn't nobody snatching up shit. I logged off, called my homeboy, kept walking, went back to the Airbnb, jumped in the shower, got dressed. 9 o'clock, we was in the club partying. All snaps, Moneybag Mo's in the building. Moneybag Mo in the building. Hey, sis. Thank you so much. Moneybag Mo just sent $499.99. Thank you so much. I appreciate you for coming through and blessing me. It means a lot to me. Y'all really be showing me love. And again, this is why they be mad, honey. This is why these monitoring spirits be feeling away. Okay? Hey. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, sis. For real, for real. Thank you for just always coming through and showing just major love. Because you got mainstream media who don't got a money bag mo. So, you know what I mean? I'm forever grateful. I'm forever grateful to everybody who just supports me and supports what I do and supports me just being me. I really do. I just appreciate the love that I get from people. And it just, I still be shocked because I'd be surprised when people be recognizing me or will tell me that they watch my videos and stuff like that. That means a lot to me because I just be making my content, and I be forgetting girl, you got over 1 million, subscribers on here and you did it with integrity. People really fuck with me and that makes me feel good when people be like, I watch your videos. I like your work. Keep doing your thing. One of the things that I was told in Atlanta is that a lot of people do want to interview with me. So they're like, you need to start doing interviews. So I'm like, as long as y'all got something decent to say, I'll interview. But if we just talking about some, nonsense, I'm not interested. Now, if we can get to real discussions, real topics, I won't mind it. But we'll see. We'll see. But now I appreciate y'all so much. So it is a lot going on out here. So Iran has basically responded to Donald Trump the other day. Donald Trump, bombed Iran. So they responded by sending 6 missiles to U.S. bases in several different countries. So I have some news articles here pulled up that we can listen. It's getting real. And the scary thing is I have a lot of military tea-sippers, ex-military and people who are currently deployed. So it's very frightening for them. Because I have people who have been deployed to these U.S. bases. And so now they're worried about how their friends, who may be on deployment now, how they're doing. So this is very, very scary. On top of that, the mainstream media is not covering this. I will try and show what I can show. There's a lot of dead, Gaza. A lot of people got killed in Gaza last night. There was some type of food truck ambush. And so there's this page I follow. And when I just burnt little babies. It's just sickening what's going on right now. Like it's sickening. Like just everything that is just going on. It is like so disheartening. So we'll hit on that as well in case you guys haven't seen that. It's sad. It really is. So let's go ahead. Let me go ahead and play this real quick here. About the attacks. I got a few different videos up, so we'll watch everything together because I've been just trying to keep up with everything that's going on here. So give me, let's see here. All right, so let's start with ABC News.
Al Udeid Air Base is the largest U.S. air base in the Middle East, with 10,000 troops estimated to be stationed there. The base is also host to U.S. Central Command's regional headquarters and command facilities for special forces. The report comes after Qatari authorities temporarily suspended air traffic in the country's airspace. Let's go right to our chief foreign correspondent, Ian Pannell, in Tel Aviv. Ian, what do we know so far?
Yeah, I mean, the reality is, in terms of facts, we know very little, but there are multiple reports out there. The facts are that Qatar closed its airspace. The facts are also that the U.S. Embassy advised U.S. citizens to stay indoors. There was also a warning to British citizens there as well. The UAE also reportedly closing its airspace amid the increased reports of a potential threat against the Al Udeid airbase. And as you say, this is the largest airbase for the Middle East in the region. It's important not just to house aircraft, but it's important because this is a command and control facility. It's where missions are controlled. I've been to Al Udeid in the past before and seen this huge control room where drones, aircraft are monitored and controlled. And it's possible that the attacks against Iran were orchestrated from here. We know that President Trump and the National Security Council are due to meet. They are also acutely aware of these threats. Our colleague Kira Phillips quoting a defense official saying that they don't behave like this unless the threat itself is credible. We had multiple threats, multiple warnings from Iran that they would indeed retaliate to the US strikes on 3 nuclear facilities. The latest one came from the Iranian president probably only about 40 or 45 minutes ago. He's not a key decision maker. The Ayatollah is in normal circumstances, but these are abnormal circumstances. But again, warning that there would be retaliation. Remember, President Trump and Defense Secretary Hegseth have made it very clear that if there is any kind of retaliation from Iran, that would lead to an even greater response from the United States. But there is...
Okay, but my thing is this. What did they expect to happen? Like, this is not... You know, I guess like back in the day, the propaganda was strong, right? But we have the internet now. Like people can do their own research. We can talk to people in other countries. What did they think was going to happen? Like y'all literally bombed them. It had nothing to do with us. We was over here minding our black and, multinational business. That was Israel's thing. We had no business even getting involved. So we bombed them over the weekend. No approval from Congress. So what did we think was going to happen? They're fighting back. And see, a lot of people feel like, okay, it's not really going to be a war because, Iran doesn't have missiles long enough to hit the United States. So it's not like they can go from Iran and bomb, like, let's just say, hypothetical, New York or Boston, right? That's what I've been told. But like I tell people, it's not so much about them being able to hit with a bomb to hit someone in the United States. Like I've always told you guys, the war is not going to be fought anymore on the battleground. This is not the Vietnam War. This is not even the war that happened with Saddam Hussein, the Iraq War or whatever. It's not even that. Everything is going to be fought through cyberspace, through technology, through AI, through drones. So even now they're talking about there could be some potential sleeper cells in the country. And I could see that happening. Potential sleeper cells. But even, sleeper cells aside, right? We could mess with them so bad. Okay, they can't reach us ballistically. That's why they're hitting the bases, because the bases are closer, right? They're sending a message. They're also buddying up with Russia. And we all know Russia has some of the most high-tech hackers in the world. You know, so everybody's worried about a bomb. I'm still worried about the damn grid. God forbid. If the grid goes down, that could be even worse. If the grid was to go down in a place like New York, that could really collapse a lot of stuff. You know? But if they hit specific grids, it's like, if that stops, there's no power for water. There's no power for, you know, it's summertime, air conditioning. So I think like people are just looking at it like it's just, oh, their bombs can't reach here. Well, yes, but there's other things that can affect us. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I'm looking at it. I just think it's just very frightening, like just all the stuff that's going on and the technology. The technology that's out is insane right now. And my youngest pointed this out to me when we were coming back from the airport. And he was like, Mom, all this stuff was in Call of Duty, Black Ops. He's like, you got me that game when I was younger. Well, I don't play. You know how kids, we wanted Christmas presents and birthday presents, child. And I was like, well, tell me more. You know what I mean? I knew it was a fighting game, but, you know, I don't know all the ins and outs. He said, yeah. And he was pulling up clips. And they were saying that the game took place in 2025 and they were fighting against China and all time. He was like breaking down the game. And I was like, son, this is predictive programming. It's predictive programming that they put in video games, television, movies, things like that. Any Black Ops players in the chat? Yeah, he was breaking it down to me. He was like, yeah, I was playing this when I was like in junior high. He's like, I feel like everything I was playing in Black Ops is coming to pass right now. Yeah. And he was like showing me clips and stuff. Yeah, so if you go back and you look at that, that game was predictive programming. And this is not, you know, a kid who's into like military stuff, but, you know, he's just seeing all this stuff going on. He was saying is reminding him of Black Ops, the game. And I was like, well, tell me more. Because I knew it was a fighting game. I didn't know the whole ins and outs. And he was breaking it down. I'm like, damn. And then he said it took place in 2025. So like I've said, a lot of this stuff is prophecy being fulfilled. You know, biblical prophecy. You know, we're reaching the end of the empire. So a lot of this stuff was going to happen anyways. But it's very frightening. And when you think about it, like we said before, with the grid, if anything happens, to even get like replacement parts, all of those parts come from China. We don't have a good relationship right now with China. You know, so it would take months to even be able to replace one grid, let alone multiples. So it's very scary with everything that is going on currently with this. And it's going to escalate, unfortunately. I mean, to think that you can bomb them and be like, okay, now we want peace. Well, that's not how it works. You can't slap me and then be like, oh, you know, now that I slapped you in your face, let's make amends. No, bitch, I now want to kick your ass. What do you mean, let's make amends? I need to get my lick back. I mean, that's just common sense. So let's finish. Let me see here. I have a few other clips too. Let me see. Okay, this is the one about the sleeper cells. I thought this was very interesting. So let's watch this one here. This is New York City.
Now, the metropolitan area has the largest Jewish population outside of Israel, so it's not surprising the strike on Iran became topic number one for the mayor and the Democrats who want to replace him. They were out today on the last day of early voting, and so was political reporter Marsha Kramer. She's here with that part of the story.
Well, Dick, as a matter of fact, it's not unexpected that Iran was top of mind. What was surprising was that the warning from Mayor Adams and others that the decision to bomb Iran could have had repercussions here, nearly 6,400 miles away in New York.
You're always concerned about sleeper cells. We're going to ensure that we focus on sleeper cells.
Mayor Adams taking seriously warnings from Washington that Iran could activate sleeper cells here to seek retribution for the bombings. Rebecca Weiner, NYPD Commissioner of Intelligence and Counterterrorism, tells CBS News New York her agency has been on alert for days.
We are doubling down on our efforts. We are doubling down on reaching out to partners internationally, federally, doubling down on all of the monitoring that we are doing.
This as the bombing became topic A on the campaign trail for those seeking to win the Democratic mayoral primary. Former Governor Andrew Cuomo also warning that something could happen here.
As a New Yorker, my natural instinct, former governor, former HUD secretary, New York should get ready for possible reprisal by Iran.
Cuomo, like many of the other candidates, took issue with the president ordering the attack on Iran without consulting Congress. While you don't support the way President Trump actually bombed Iran, do you support the end result that they got rid of the nuclear reactors?
I think the world is a safer place without Iran having nuclear weapons, yes.
Zohran Mamdani, who has faced charges he is insufficiently supportive of the Jewish state, said of Trump's actions, quote, "Today's unconstitutional military action represents a new dark chapter in his endless series of betrayals that now threaten to plunge the world deeper into chaos. In a city as global as ours, the impacts of war are deeply felt here."
Deeply troubling. I mean, unconstitutional. It's going to escalate the risks of war and violence and death for Iranians, for Israelis, and for Americans.
Very concerned that this president has undergone a military strike without authorization of Congress.
Now, the mayor says that at this time there are no credible threats, but that he wants his deputy commissioner to be proactive, not reactive. This as the primary is just 2 days away, and the candidates had full slates of appearances.
All right, so you guys just saw that video. So again, it makes sense that they would be worried about sleeper cells in New York City, you know, after everything that happened, you know, with 9/11 and all that stuff out there. So that is one thing that they're talking about. But it's very interesting how, like, I just keep thinking, like, if this was, you know, old man Joe, or God forbid, Obama, and he just decided to just move forward and do this militarily, I feel like the call out would be a lot stronger. I feel like everybody is like walking on eggshells and, well, we don't agree. He didn't get permission from Congress, but you know. And if this was Obama, there'd be no way. They'd be like, that fucking uppity nigger. You know what I mean? It'd be all types of shit if Obama just woke up and just did this. You can't tell me. If this was Obama, I mean, oh my gosh, they be talking about impeachment and all and some more shit. You know, it's at this point it just feels like a dictatorship. You know, he's just able to just make whatever decision he wants to make, and y'all just got to deal with it, and it is what it is. And unfortunately, well, I would say for the most part, his base is fractured. So you have some who are really calling him out, like Marjorie Taylor Greene, Candace Owens, and you know, whoever else. And then you have the ones who are just sitting there like just blind sheep, the blind leading the blind, you know, and it's like, they were even like just going off on me. And I don't care what, they were probably bots anyways, but it's like, even when you go on Twitter, you can see how they're all writing the same thing. Oh, if you don't support him bombing Iran, you were never really MAGA. And there's all these accounts saying the same thing over and over again. I'm like, what in the damn MAGA bot is going on here? It's insane. And I don't, again, who you vote for, that's your business. But I don't think anybody who truly voted for him, regardless if they're MAGA, if you're a real person and not a bot, I don't think they had war on the agenda. I think mostly people who voted for him, they wanted, you know, lower eggs and, you know, more jobs and all that. That's what they were voting for, you know, for the most part. I don't think any of them were truly voting to start a war with Iran. So I refuse to believe that. So when I see these trolls saying things like, oh, if you disagree with this, you were never MAGA, it's like, really? Like even when me and James did the podcast that we did the other day, they were, you know, I'm not going to say they were necessarily trolls, but, you know, people on there like in their feelings. like, oh, you're becoming, you keep going at Trump or you keep going at MAGA. And I'm like, because I don't stand for war? That, like, were you here anytime I called out Joe Biden and Kamala when they did things that didn't make any sense, or did you just get here? Because I've held both sides accountable. But again, it's like as soon as you hold them accountable, it's an issue. But it is what it is. So let's go ahead. I want to also hit on this here. Oh, child, JD Vance is talking. So we're going to watch this. This is on Twitter. So he had a conversation today. Yeah, this was like 2 hours ago. Let me pull this up here. I think it was this one. Yeah.
Is the United States now at war with Iran?
No, Kristen, we're not at war with Iran. We're at war with Iran's nuclear program. And let me just say, Kristen, that we're incredibly grateful and proud of the American Air Force pilots who did an incredible job last night. The operation was really extraordinary. These guys flew from Missouri. They didn't land a single time. They dropped 30,000-pound bombs on a target the size of a washing machine, and then got back home safely without ever landing in the Middle East or ever stopping other than to briefly refuel. And of course, they did that in the air. So it's really an incredible operation, a testament to the power of American military. And I think what shows what can happen when you have that great American military in the hands of capable presidential leadership. What we did is we destroyed the Iranian nuclear program. I think we set that program back substantially, and we did it without endangering the lives of the American pilots. That's an incredible thing, and I think we all should be proud. Whatever our politics, we should be proud of what these guys accomplished. A very, very high-impact mission under a lot of pressure.
I hate when they talk as if these young men and women, a lot of them don't necessarily want to be there. A lot of people get recruited that come from lower economic, situations. Maybe they couldn't afford college, so, they felt the military was the best way to go, or, their grandfather was in the war, and then, it's a generational thing. But it's not like they had to do it. It's not like they could be like, no, we're not going to do it. Like, these were orders that they had to do. I just hate how, they just kind of simplify it. Like, oh, yeah, they got in, they got out. And you don't know how those people are feeling emotionally. There's been a lot of veterans coming out as of late. I've been seeing it. Maybe it's just something in my algorithm because all this war stuff. But there's been a lot of veterans coming out as of late about how these were veterans that fought in the Iraq war and, in other wars, and how they felt like they were used, and they're having to deal with that because they get them in young at 18, 19, you brainwash them and you make them feel like those people are insurgents and they're the bad guys. And as you get older, you realize those people are people just like you, and they're fighting for their country and their way of life. And so a lot of the veterans were breaking it down on these different videos and stuff like that. So it's very disturbing to see how, I don't know, it's almost like the puppet master, and the puppet strings. And these young men and women, they have no choice. They have no say-so in the matter. Once you join, they own you. So, my heart goes out to anybody who's deployed right now, who has family that's deployed, because I think they would have just preferred for us to stay out of it and let Israel hold their own. But, I could just be reaching. I don't know. So now I also want to hit on this before I go as well. Gas prices are about to be sky high, even higher than they are now. I'm trying to see if I have this clip here. So one of the ways that Iran can get back at us is by basically shutting down the Strait of Hormuz, which is in the ocean, it's where a lot of because they have a lot of oil. So that's where a lot of the ships go, to get oil and things like that. So they're thinking about blocking America from accessing that. China is one of their biggest buyers at this point. So if they block America from being able to access the oil, expect for gas prices in America to go sky high. Because again, they don't owe us anything. We decide to jump into something, they owe us nothing. So we're going to watch this really quick. They're talking about it on CBS here. So let me go ahead and pull this up. Give me just a second. Hold on. Okay, there we go.
And as Eric mentioned, the Strait of Hormuz may close, and in fact, oil futures are spiking in reaction to the turmoil in the Middle East, and investors do fear that Iran would disrupt what is global shipping via the Strait of Hormuz. Now, that channel is the only way to ship crude oil from the Persian Gulf to the rest of the world. 20% of the world's oil passes through the strait. Any disturbance will have a significant impact on the global economy. Only Iran's National Security Council has the authority to close the strait. CBS News contributor Javier David joins us now to talk more about this. He's the business editor for the Dallas Morning News. Javier, good morning to you. What would happen if this decision is made in Iran to close the strait? What would happen next?
Yeah, look, we have a sort of a war on two fronts now. We've got one that's policy-based. It's all about tariffs and the trade war. And now we have this armed conflict that is spurring the price of oil. So just to throw some numbers at you, Brent crude at the start of the month was trading around $62 a barrel. We've now built in a quote unquote war premium of about 30% to nearly $80. So commodity investors are kind of having the best time that they've had since the start of the year, but these are real economic risks associated with this. So, you'll see more than likely a lot of analysts are building in the possibility of a run at $80 a barrel, $90 a barrel, perhaps even above $100 a barrel. And under the most extreme scenarios, that adds about $1 per gallon to gas and diesel prices. So these are real and sustained risks.
And we see gas prices usually increase in some cases over the summer, in many cases anyway, just because of the increased demand. Secretary of State Marco Rubio said it would be economic suicide, though, for Iranians to shut down the strait. That would be an expected reaction. How likely is it to happen, do you think?
Well, look, this is a very high likelihood. Iran was blindsided and really humiliated by these strikes. They're vowing to make the West, in particular the U.S., pay the price. The easiest way to do that is, of course, through the price of oil and energy prices. But luckily for us, it isn't the 1970s anymore. The U.S. is now the world's largest oil producer. We still import oil internationally. It's not nearly as damaging as it could have been if we were still wholly dependent on foreign crude. So we're far more energy independent and secure these days. It doesn't totally insulate us from shocks, but it does help us blunt the sharper edges of what could happen.
Yeah, other nations have diversified as well. I mean, India, for example, has moved away from Middle Eastern sources of oil while adding others to the mix. We know that global markets are open this morning. Do you see any trends right now that might be a signal for the U.S. of what kind of week this will be?
Yeah, ongoing concerns. We talk a lot about oil now, but don't forget about the tariffs, and that has all been a very real concern about global growth. So you have these two things working at cross purposes. The tariffs are bad for global demand. They're bad for growth. But in the very short term, we're going to see a lot of volatility in the price of crude and in other energy prices that filter in. It's just not a good for the outlook in terms of our ability to manage all of these crises at once.
All right, Javier David with the latest economic headlines on this major story.
All right, so you guys just saw that clip as well. So, like I said, again, like they were saying in there, we don't necessarily just solely depend on the Straits of Hormuz for the oil and stuff, but it's still, it's still going to affect people in a way, in their pockets when you go to the gas station. Either way, gas is going up and it's going to go up a little bit more. So, and I think they have every right to shut that down because they own it. I mean, didn't we go to Panama and punk them about the Panama Canal and saying that China can't use it and all this other stuff? So, again, we've done it here, so we shouldn't be surprised if other nations are doing the same things with their waterways as well. So it's a lot. It's a lot going on. Let me go ahead and read some of these super chats real quick here. I am Mandy T sent $20. Thank you so much, Mandy. I appreciate you, love. JTV says, I got 2 brothers and 1 cousin in the Army, MC and Navy. Cousin already got deployed and my brothers may be deployed next. Yeah, it's really sad. And I was also hearing that it was something embedded in Project 2025 with like the public school system that basically the draft is coming back. That's one of the things that is being stated, that the draft is coming back. But they were saying that it's something about some type of test to get into the military. I don't know what it's called, so forgive me. But basically what they want to do is have all public high school children take this test, and then it gives them like some type of range to how fit they are to go into military service. Have y'all heard about that? They've been talking about it a lot on TikTok. Again, I forgot what the test is, but it's a test to get into the military. And what they found very interesting was that this test is only given to public school children. It's not being given to anybody in private school at all, because a lot of private school children, clearly they come from, means. The ASVAB, okay, that must be it. Yeah, they're trying to give that test now to any child of high school age. So that way they know what kids and what city they can automatically put into the draft. And talks about the draft are becoming more, there's more and more of those talks that are being discussed. So, and being, I'm a boy's mom, so that is very scary to think about. It's one thing that somebody wants to join and volunteer, but if you don't want to join and volunteer, you shouldn't be forced. But that's what it's coming down to, unfortunately. So, just good luck to your brother and your cousins. I just hope, they get there safe and they come back to the States safe as well. So thank you so much. Let's see here. Leak Hold sent $10, says, my husband is an active Marine infantryman and has 2 months left. He said he will most likely have a forced extension on his contract because of Iran's retaliations. Wow. I'm sorry to hear that. I'm really sorry to hear that. But yeah, if he's still active duty, they can extend it, and they don't care if he's almost out. So that's too bad. I'm really sorry to hear that. Let me see here. Shell says, YT removes likes. I liked your previous video. When I rewatched them, my likes were gone. YT is playing with you. Lots of love from Australia. Thank you so much for tapping in all the way from the land down under. I appreciate you. Yeah, YT is always doing some shady stuff, so I'm not surprised at all that they're removing likes. So thank you so much for the super chat, love. MK sent $15. They said, sending prayers from Israel. I think he needs to put his country first before involving him and y'all in some war here in the Middle East. Let us handle. Oh, wow. So you're an Israeli. And your money is different. I've never had Israeli money. It's like some type of different dollar sign. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. It's always good to hear from international tea sippers, overseas. So the fact that you're in Israel and even you're saying that we have no business, jumping into this, it really doesn't really have anything to do with America. And, just makes you think well, who's really running the show here? Because it seems like when Israel says something, we jump, unfortunately. So thank you so much for the super chat, and thank you so much for tapping in. I appreciate you. Let's see here. Lex Scott Hart says, looking good, T. Thank you so much, because I feel like I just got off the plane and jumped on here. So thank you. I appreciate it. To Asia Julie Says T come back. T came back with an ATL accent. Love you, LOL. Yeah, you not love them ATL accents, shawty. Thank you so much. Be grateful. Said 199 says, hey T, what do you think about the Karen Reed trial results? I don't even know who that is. Hold on. Let me Google. That's not a name I recognize off the top of my head. Evidence in Karen Reed case. Only another Karen Reed juror speaks out. Who is Karen Reed? Hold on. How much did Karen Reed cost taxpayers? Karen Reed is a former Australian cricketer who played a right-hand batter. Yeah, I don't know nothing about this. I'm going to have to research. Yeah. Full circle, Karen Reed. Karen Reed, retrial recap. I'm going to have to read into that. I don't know anything about that right now. I'm sorry. I'm going to have to look. I've been so caught up in the damn Diddy trial. I haven't been focused on anybody else's trial, but I'm going to have to look more into that. So thank you for the super chat. Let's see here. Kanika Morgan, Senpai said, are you still in the A? Can we get an impromptu meetup? I'm in the Discord. No, I'm back in Minneapolis. I'm back home. This is an AI. I'm back in my office. I wasn't coming to the A to do any meetups. I was meeting up with my friends that I haven't seen in a long time and just different social circles that I haven't hung out with in a while. So that's why I was coming down there. But if I come back again, I might do a small meetup, but I just wanted to hang out with my friends and stuff like that while I was down there. So that's what I did. And I had an amazing time. ATL don't owe me nothing at all. Let's see here. What are you doing over there? Send $10. Says, hey T, have you heard of the channel called Predictive History? A professor uses his knowledge of game theory to predict this a year ago. And he's right. We'll have soldiers on the ground. No, I haven't heard of that channel yet, but I'm going to have to check that out. Predictive History. I like that. I like the name of that. That sounds interesting. That's right up my alley. So thank you so much. Cheryl Anderson says, stay strong and safety. Proud to have been a member. Thank you so much for being a member on my YouTube. I really appreciate you. And yeah, I'm going to keep staying strong and keep working on my mental health. Everything is slowly coming together, slowly but surely. So thank you so much. I appreciate that. Let's see here. Okay, so Todd French, he sent $10. He said, this will be asymmetric warfare. The weaker side will exploit the stronger side's weakness with their strength. The Hormuz Strait is closed to disrupt the oil economy. Hold on. It will cause unlikely allies. Wow. I agree. I think a lot of the people, who are tired of America and just whatever issues they have with us, right? I think they're all going to click up. I think that's why right now, Russia has sided with Iran, China, Pakistan, and again, we had allies, but who knows if our allies are going to come to our defense just because of just all the rhetoric, the drama. Canada was very close to America, but since the whole 51st state rhetoric over and over again and the disrespect of other nations' leaders, a lot of people are not fooling with us right now, and it's unfortunate. So, and like I said before, like I was saying yesterday, people are so quick to say, well, there's still superpowers. The UK is a superpower, America and France. The superpowers of yesteryear are gone. I don't consider them superpowers anymore. A lot of them are dealing with heavy debt. Do they even have the money right now to go into another war? If France, like I said before, if France was such a superpower, how were they able to get kicked out so quickly out of Burkina Faso? When Ibrahim Traoré took over, he put them out. And they didn't put up much of a fight. So the superpowers to me are not superpowering, in my personal opinion. I just don't think they are. So it's like, yeah, even if France has our back, like They can barely afford to keep the lights on. You know what I'm saying? Like, war is not cheap. So let's just hope North Korea doesn't, line up with them as well with Iran. They haven't said too much as of late, so we'll see. But thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate you. Let's see here. Creative Rose says, T, you've heard of Project 2025, but apparently the next thing they'll be focused on is Project Esther, made by the same people who put together Project 2025. I'm going to have to look into Project Esther. I don't know anything about that, but thank you so much for the info. Manuel Gamboa, Sim 499 says, did anyone notice the way Trump attacked Iran was the exact same mission as the Top Gun Maverick movie? Same strategy, same enemy, same target. Wow. No, I didn't know that. But again, like we were talking earlier, just like in Black Ops, a lot of this stuff is predictive programming. It's in the movies, it's in the TV shows, and it's also in the video games. So even when I think back to like those old like G.I. Joe cartoons, you think back about all of that, like, Cobra Commander versus G.I. Joe and just all of that stuff and how there was one episode I had put in one of my deep dives. I forgot which deep dive, but do y'all remember when I had in the deep dive and they were talking about this was in the cartoon G.I. Joe, turning the world into a cashless society. And they were trying to make it a one world government, one world money. It was a really, really crazy episode. And I'm just like, damn, this took place in the 80s when we were kids. We were being indoctrinated with all of these cartoons that we were watching. And then to see all of this come into fruition in our real life, and, hell, this was even before 2025, was just insane. That they were putting all this stuff in cartoons when we were younger. But, when you're a kid, you don't understand everything that's being told and everything that's coming at you. But that was a crazy episode, and I can't think of the name right off the top of my head. But y'all remember that? I see like 3 teacups. I forgot what deep dive I have it in. If y'all remember the deep dive I put it in there, that I had it in, y'all can write it. I've made so many deep dives, I can't even think of which one that was in. But it was that whole episode of G.I. Joe. And it was breaking down the New World Order and the cashless society and all that stuff. It was crazy. Let's see. Amanda in the chat says, let's be honest, the U.S. needed its allies for all wars post-World War II. And how did Vietnam work out? Clock that T. Like I said, it's going to be interesting. Let me see here. Wavy Tay, he said 1999. He says, hey, Auntie, this is your favorite soldier checking in. Thank you for always supporting me and the military. I am safe and sound away from the attacks. I have 3 battles in the Middle East, and they are all safe and sound. Please pray for us. We will continue to pray for you. Please make sure you take care of yourself. Stay vigilant. I just feel bad, that you guys are even having to deal with this right now, and you guys are being pulled into a war that you guys didn't ask for. So we will definitely continue to keep you in prayer, Wavy. So thank you for checking in with me. I appreciate that. Let's see here. Andre Christian sent $10, says active duty here, 13 years. Been watching you since boot camp. Navy here. Getting stationed in Bahrain soon. Praying for us all. Love you, sis. Love you too. Again, all my military people in the house, please stay safe. We will definitely be praying for you guys. We have a lot of if y'all don't know, I have a lot of military people that are tea sippers. And it surprised me. I remember when I think the first video, I remember Janisa was telling me that I did. And it was just random. I don't know a lot. I didn't. I've learned more over the years about the military. But it was about Black women, because at that time the military was finally allowing Black women to wear their hair, in more natural ways and things like that. So I did a video on it. So I guess a lot of military people have watched my video. So that's how a lot of them found me, was from that video. And I remember back then, seeing the comments, yeah, I'm in the Army or I'm at boot camp. I'm like, y'all can see me? Because I didn't know that they could even watch YouTube. I just thought they just stayed like in the barracks all day. And you know what I mean? I had no idea they could even see me. I'm like, y'all can see me where y'all are at? They're like, yeah, we watch you all the time. I've grown a lot. I've learned so much over the years because I was shocked when I would get comments from people like, yeah, I'm in the Marines or I'm in such and such branch. And, you know, I watch you and I'm like, y'all get TVs out there? I didn't know. So that's how I ended up getting like a lot of like military people. So just shout out to y'all. You know, like I always say, I just, all I can do is give y'all props and prayers and just, thank you guys because you guys put not only y'all's lives on the line, but just being away from y'all's families, kids, husbands, and wives. It's a lot. It's a lot to ask for. So thank you all for your service, no matter what branch you serve in. So thank you. Oh, y'all are dragging Wavy in the chat. Y'all leave my little Wavy alone. We know how he voted, child. We know. Y'all are in there dragging him. Y'all leave Wavy alone. Y'all just send him thoughts and prayers. Okay? Because again, it's been a lot in the Discord too. I know y'all have been dragging poor Kobe. Again, we're still family, y'all. We're still family. I know it sucks. But I also know that a lot of these people are good people. And a lot of people they just did not know how to vote. And they just, again, I don't judge. Like I said, people going to do what they're going to do in that booth. But these are the consequences too. So we got to keep that real. But I still love y'all. Y'all still tea sippers, side eye. But I still love y'all. Side eye. Because y'all be dragging Kobe, honey. I be like, poor Kobe. He's like, T, I don't even go in the Discord. I just be in there silently sipping. Shout out to Kobe. Because oh my gosh, the arguments and the back and forth in the Zoom meetings, but yeah, Kobe catches strays, but we love him though. That's our bro. He, if I do another tea sipper event, he gonna be there with his head held high. You're not gonna do Kobe like that. He's still gonna come through and pop it. We are a dysfunctional family, so I know a lot of y'all be in the Discord, dragging the MAGA folks. Remember, they were loud in the Discord, honey. Oh, they've calmed down a lot. Who's the other lady? She was she was with the shits. I ain't seen her in a while either. Let me stop messing with my MAGA tea sippers, child. They've been quiet. They just be DMing me now like, oh, T, I'm just DMing you. How you doing? I don't even want to go in there because, I don't even be in the political room no more, T. I just want to check in and just make sure, at least we still cool, right? I'm like, I ain't got no beef with y'all. Like, we still cool. We still here. But for the other tea sippers, I can't control them. They're grown. They gonna drag, honey. Not y'all clocking Wavy's tea. Just send that man some prayers, y'all. Be nice. Y'all know Kobe in here sipping. He ain't gonna say nothing in the chat, though. He in here. He be in the he don't say nothing because y'all attack him. If he could be like, oh, yeah, I like that new Cardi B song. Did you vote for Trump? I can be like, look, y'all, I made a pizza. Kobe can come in there. Oh, yeah, that pizza look good. Aren't you a Trump supporter? I'm like, damn, he can't comment on any post in the Discord. They be keeping their foot on all the MAGA people, honey, who voted. They be keeping their foot. They can't say anything. Anything posted, be like, oh, you back? Like I said, we're just one big dysfunctional family. It is what it is, child. It was gonna happen. But let me go ahead and finish reading some more here. Keita, she sent $100 super chat. Thank you so much, Keita. I appreciate you, sis. Thank you for coming through and showing love. Thank you. That was just wonderful. I really appreciate y'all. Flowers of Scotland sent a $50 super chat as well. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. So let me go ahead. I want to also pull this up for y'all here. Look, Abraham said Kobe be getting jumped in the disco. He do. Cause he sent me a message the other day. I didn't get to read it all. You know how you get like the little it shows like the first few lines, and I haven't been on Discord because I've been partying this shit. But he was like, after like the bombs dropped, he was like, I'm getting attacked again. I'm getting added on Discord. I said, oh damn, y'all leave that man alone. Anything happen, y'all are adding him. Like, I'm never gonna forgive you for this shit, Kobe. Talking about I just want to talk. Where he at? Okay, so I want to hit on this. This is being kind of kept under the rug. I haven't seen any mainstream American media post about what's going on right now in Gaza, but on Instagram, it's being shown. And I'm trying to figure out a way to show this without showing like the dead people. But I kind of want to show you what's going on. Because with some type of setup, let me read it first. If it gets to showing like, because like there was one, it was making me cry. It was like a little, well, I can't even tell if it's a boy or girl. I want to say it might have been a girl. But, you know, they were bombed and then like their hair was singed. I couldn't really tell, but they were just crying. They said they were at the dinner table with their parents. She said they were at the dinner table with their mom, dad, and their brother. All of a sudden, a bomb exploded. And so they said that they were just crying out for help, crying out for God. And then another little boy saved them, pulled them out the rubble. So imagine another random kid who's also hurt, pulled this kid out the rubble. And then the baby said that basically a grown man then grabbed them and brought them to the hospital. But it was just sad to look at this stuff. It's just like, war is just a horrible thing. And just none of this makes sense. And it's the babies that are suffering for it. So let me go ahead and pull this up here. Okay, so this is what this is saying currently. It's saying this carnage, these aren't just dire conditions, they're engineered to kill. This carnage, hunger used as weapon, families forced from their homes again and again. It's not a crisis, it's a calculated death sentence for people still fighting to stay alive. Then it has a disclaimer. So what they were saying, this was posted about 6 hours ago, is that they were bringing in humanitarian aid, like food into Gaza. And then when the people came to, you know, get their food, they were just shot. So I'm gonna play some of this.
Israeli authorities are preventing us from distributing through the systems that we've established and that we know work. We have a plan. We're ready with a plan. We could reach every family in Gaza, as we have in the past, but we're prevented from doing so at every turn. As military operations continue from the air and from the ground, there remains an abhorrent disregard for humanitarian law. Displaced families are fleeing with nothing, and we have nothing to give them. All of Gaza is compressed into just around 17% of the total land. Everything that I've described is entirely preventable. These are conditions created to kill. What we're seeing is carnage. It is weaponized hunger. It is forced displacement. And it's a death sentence for people just trying to survive. Palestinian life and that which sustains it continues to be systematically dismantled before the world's eyes. Israel has clear responsibilities as an occupying power. We need to see accountability, and we need to see a lasting ceasefire in line with the rulings by the International Court of Justice. People in Gaza today are being killed trying to reach food. The attempt to survive is being met with a death sentence. There's no safe way to eat. I've been told over 400 have been killed. And I've met some of those injured in the past days in the beds and corridors of the Nasser hospital that is overflowing. It shouldn't be this way.
So it was like a whole setup is from what this channel is saying. Let me see. Yeah, this is, y'all will have to go on there because again, this was a playground that was bombed. Just a lot of dead bodies. Sometimes if I can find the one with that. Oh, this was the one. This is the one with the baby that was talking. Like I said, I don't know if it's a boy or a girl. Yeah, this is the baby here. Oh, Ahmed. So it's a boy. I couldn't tell initially. Oh, this is sad. It's two different ones. Okay, two different ones. Do y'all want to see this one? They're alive. They're not dead. But the baby's telling his story. It's just so sad. It's just sad. Just all this stuff that's going on. Let me pull it up. Okay, so this one is a little girl. Okay, so basically what they're writing here, 8-year-old Nawar Adwar speaks through tears, calling out for her mother and brother Ahmad after the Israeli occupation missile struck their tent in Al-Mawasi while they sat down for lunch. We were eating when a missile hit us. My mother screamed, my children, she says. Injured and disoriented, she fled into the streets, begging for help until a boy carried her to safety. Despite the brutality of the attack, both her, the mother, and the brother survived. I don't think the father survived because she started crying for her dad. She was like saying, Baba, Baba, and nothing. So, it's just, God, it's just sad. It's just sad to watch. This is another baby here, Ahmed. This is the little boy.
اليهود رموا علينا صاروخ وكلنا اتحرقنا ماما وبابا واخواتي بابا اتصاب براسه وعمل إصابة براسه وكلنا اتصابنا.
Okay, now I'm not going to show the rest because it's dead bodies. But even the baby is saying that he just wishes that the war would end. He's like, I just want the war to end. Like, these kids are like 6 and 7 years old. And that's all they've known is war. I mean, it's sad. It's really sad what is going on. And I don't get it. I don't understand it. I'm not from that part of the world. I know it's been going on since like Bible times, but it's like, I just don't understand like why everyone just can't get along if not for the children. The children are so innocent in this. Like, you're literally sitting down to lunch with your family and a missile hits you. Like, that is insane. That is evil. So, and it's just, it's making a lot of people are waking up, and it's not, a lot of people are losing sympathy and patience for what's going on over there. And then now it's like, now we've been kind of brought into this when we didn't need to be. So the whole thing is just, it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. If you go down some of those rabbit holes, because like I said, the mainstream media doesn't cover that type of stuff. So you got to look for it like on, like Al Jazeera or different, accounts on Instagram and on TikTok. And it kind of shows you, because for me, I want to get a picture of what's going on everywhere. I want to know what's going on here where we live, but then also be very cognizant of what's going on overseas. And so we still can't forget about the people in Gaza and what's going on with them. They're still suffering over there. So the whole thing is very, very heartbreaking. It really is. Let's see here. Ida says, Trump is asking China to intervene. I thought China had no cards. What you talking about, Willis? Y'all know I just got back home. Hold on, Ida. Thank you for the super chat. What do you mean? Wait, why are we asking China to intervene in what? Weren't we talking about tariffing them and, China wasn't shit a month ago? Let me go ahead and Google. What does he want from China? U.S. asked China to stop Iran from closing the Straits of Hormuz. Oh, looky. In my Shanae voice, looky. Are you serious? So now you want China to do us a favor after all the drama, all the unnecessary drama that we caused with them. After y'all done fucked up our Sheen orders, our damn wig orders, all the stuff that we get from overseas. Now, let me go ahead and show y'all this. I can't believe this. U.S. asked China to stop Iran from closing the Strait of Hormuz. You can't make this up. U.S. Secretary Marco Rubio has called on China to prevent Iran from closing the Straits of Hormuz, one of the world's most important shipping routes. Didn't y'all just hold on? Maybe let me Google real quick. Give me just a second, cause maybe I'm tripping. Didn't they just? Huh. Okay, I know I wasn't smoking crack. Okay, I'm like, okay, maybe I'm tripping, but Marco Rubio, is this you? Was this you? Let's clock this T. This was in February. Is this you, sir? Objection. Is this you? Marco Rubio tells Panama to end China's influence on the canal or face U.S. action. What are we doing here? Seriously. So we try to stop Panama and China's bag in February, because they had their own little deal going on. We even called it a foolish gift. And now we fast forward to June, and you're asking them for help on the Strait of Hormuz? We know no shame. Objection. We know no shame in this country. How does that work? Look, I'm blown away right now, Ida, because I didn't even know they did all this, Ida. You're breaking some tea to me. The audacity. I know China better keep on sipping their little Chinese tea and keep it pushing. You can't make, let me finish reading this shit. So U.S. Secretary Marco Rubio has called on China to prevent Iran from closing the Straits of Hormuz, one of the world's most important shipping routes. Oh, interesting. Okay. His comments came after the Iran State Press TV reported that the parliament approved a plan to close the strait, but added that the final decision lies with the Supreme National Council. Any disruption to the supply of oil would have a profound consequence for the economy. China in particular is the world's largest buyer of Iranian oil and has a close relationship with Tehran. Oil prices rose following the U.S. attack on Iranian nuclear sites, with the price of the benchmark Brent crude reaching its highest level in 5 months. I encourage the Chinese government in Beijing to call them Iran about that, because they heavily depend on the Strait of Hormuz for their oil, Rubio said in an interview with Fox on Sunday. If they close the straits, it will be economic suicide for them. We retain options to deal with that, but other countries should be looking for that as well. It would hurt other countries' economies a lot worse than ours. 20% of the world's oil passes through the Strait of Hormuz, with the major oil and gas producers in the Middle East using the waterways to transport energy from that region. Any attempt to disrupt operations on the strait could send global oil prices skyrocketing. This is rich. This is very, very rich coming from Marco Rubio. You can't make this shit up. So we messed with their bag when it came to Panama. We wanted them to stop with all dealings with Panama. We didn't want Panama dealing with China. Now we're telling China that they need to do us a solid and contact Iran and let them know. My thing is, if China is one of the biggest buyers of Iranian oil, don't you think that, granted, I'm not, a supreme leader or nothing, but can't they make it a way where they allow Chinese ships to safely pass and get the oil that they need and go back to China? But then let's say they see an American ship and they, y'all not coming, turn y'all asses around. Is that not an option, or do I not know what I'm talking about? Like, are they not able to control what ships they want? because that was the same thing they were doing with the Panama Canal. They want to control what ships can use that canal. So couldn't Iran do the same thing, or am I tripping? I'm not military brain, but I'm just, common sense. Because, let's just say if I'm having a party, right? Let's put it like, my terms. I'm throwing a party, okay? This group of people is invited, but I don't fuck with this group, okay? So the group that I fuck with, your name is on the guest list. Okay, Baby Doll 107. That bitch 202. We outside 501. Come on in. Y'all are on the guest list. But now these weirdos come trying to get into the party. Their name is not on the guest list. Weirdo 1, Weirdo 2, Energy Vampire 3, Hater 4. Y'all aren't on the guest list. Y'all got to turn y'all's asses around. Y'all not getting in here. Can't they just do that? What is Marco Rubio talking about? They can still deal with China without dealing with the U.S. Do y'all get what I'm saying? Why do they act like if the U.S. is kicked out of the oil party, it's going to affect everybody else? No, it's not affecting them. We didn't bomb them secretly in the middle of the night. China ain't got nothing to do with that. You decided to jump in Israel's beef. China is minding their business. They're running behind their best friend, Russia. So why would China want to do us one solid when just in February we was fucking up their money, how they got their products, around the world, messing with the Panama Canal? That's why I was so shocked when she said that we reached out to China. I'm like, hold up, I know we. Not us asking a solid for China. We done fucked up their Shein orders. I remember the designers. They done had to come out and blast the designers and sell everything 50% off. They were selling good Nike shoes on TikTok for $1. They were so pissed off. They told all of Dior's secrets and Chanel's secrets. China ain't about to do us no one solid, child. They not. Robin said, we outside. 501 is sending me. Yeah, we outside. Yeah, it's just fun. They're talking as if they're the ones who control the Strait of Hormuz, if they're the ones who control it, they can also control what ships they allow in and what ships they don't allow in. The same way with the Panama Canal. So that's very just weird. That's very weird to me that he's now asking the same people that we've talked bad about for months. And you see, this is why I always say this. This is what I love about the South. The South got the best sayings. And one of the sayings I learned when I lived down south is the same folks you see on your way up will be the same folks you see on your way down. That is why you watch how you treat people. Okay? For months, they have been talking shit about China. China, China, China. For months. China. And now we fast forward to doing this. Little Chinese music in the background, you be in New York and that man be playing the little guitar. When you go to Chinatown, I was walking around Chinatown. I like the little music out there. The little man be out there playing the little guitar and stuff. That's Marco Rubio. He's playing a little Chinese guitar, trying to lull them to sleep. Like, oh, hey, China, we need y'all to do us a favor and talk to your friend because your friend is big mad at us, even though we provoked them first. We need you to, smooth this out. China ain't about to do shit. China is not about to do anything. Remember what they said? Remember that Chinese man when they tried to interview him? And they're like, and he was like, we don't care. We don't care. Let me find that video. That shit was funny. He went id. I forgot the Chinese man name. He was like, we don't care. Chinese man, we don't care. I'll just be Googling anything, child. Oh, here he goes. It came up. Ask and you shall receive. Yeah, y'all remember him? He went in. He said, if he didn't care about the terrorists, they're not about to help us. Let me refresh y'all's memory.
Problem is that in this scenario, to use your...
Hold on. Here it is right here. Remember him? He's somebody high up in China. Forgive me for not knowing his name, but he went in. Now, this was them 2 months ago, screaming that they did not care. Okay? Y'all remember this video?
The problem is that in this scenario, to use your metaphor, the US has the bigger gun. And so China ends up having more to lose from this trade war, doesn't it? You know, it can't sustain the loss of 15% of its export market, i.e. what you export to the US.
Not at all. China is fully prepared to fight to the very end because the world is big enough that the United States is not the totality of the market in the world. So if the United States wants to go in that direction of completely shutting itself out of the China market, be my guest.
Yeah, and China will lose the US market, which, as I've said, is 15%.
We don't care. We don't care. China has been here for 5,000 years. Most of the time, there was no United States, and we survived. And if the United States wants to bully China, we will deal with the situation without the United States. And we expect to survive for another 5,000 years.
All right, y'all. So y'all heard him. We don't care. We don't care. So I'm just saying, if they didn't give a damn about these tariffs 2 months ago, okay, they done blasted all the American and European designers. They done drug all the fashion designers, told all their business on TikTok. China told y'all 2 months ago, we don't care. We got other customers, we got other clients, we got other countries who fuck with us. We don't care about your tariffs. We'll take our business elsewhere, okay? So how do we then swing back a few months later and be like, hey, yo, China, can you do me a solid real quick? You can't make, this is not life. You can't make this up. Objection. The nerve. The nerve. You can't make this mess up, child. China said, we don't give a damn, and they're not about to care now. What does your beef with Iran have to do with us? Y'all put tariffs on us. Y'all clown us every chance you get. We don't owe you nothing. China ain't going for that shit. China about to open that letter from Marco Rubio and be like, return to sender. Get your ass out of here. They're gonna be in Parliament like, objection. China ain't going for that shit. Thank you so much, Ida, for the super chat and for, letting me know about that. Because I was not ready for that tea, honey. Let's see here. Deidre sent $2, says Karen Reed was being framed for offing a cop. Oh. Okay, I gotta look into that story. I don't know nothing about that. But thank you so much, sis. Thank you for the super chat. A lady 747 says taboo topic, but shouldn't Israel be the 51st U.S. state if they can't survive without the U.S. instead of messing with Canada and Greenland? Clock it. It makes sense. It would make more sense for them to be the 51st state than Canada. Because it seems like they can't do anything without Big Brother U.S. running to their aid. So, yeah, it would make sense. Let's see here. Lady T57 says, girl, this is about the oil. Don't it remind you of the whole weapons of mass destruction? And remember, who was that? Was that Nelson Mandela? I was very young back then, but I remember Nelson Mandela, was saying back then when they was talking about going to war, and he was like, this is about the Iraqi oil. The United States wants their oil. And they try to act like Nelson Mandela was crazy, but he was telling the truth. I believe. And if I thought, because I ain't never been to the Middle East, but I didn't know what Iran looked like. So I started just researching stuff on Iran. It's a very beautiful country. Oh, they got money. Their gas stations look very nice. Their homes, the streets, they have one of the biggest malls in the world. I never knew that. So it's unfortunately, when you just only watch Western media, they show all these countries and they call them third world and stuff like that. A lot of them are not. I mean, look how they portray Africa. There's lots of beautiful countries in Africa. Very developed countries. So same with Iran. Very educated people. I mean, from the stuff, I'm going to see if I can post some videos for y'all. But it's a beautiful place. Even I was seeing before and after pictures of Gaza. Now, Gaza wasn't perfect, but it looked a lot better than it looked now. Shit. At least I can find, like, Iran. Like, I was very surprised. It's a very, very beautiful country. Yeah, the largest mall in the world is in Iran. You know what's so crazy, y'all? I remember when I was a kid, because that's when they built the Mall of America here in Minnesota, right? And I remember when my dad was taking us to the Mall of America, and I was super excited. I was like probably like in, I don't know, like 5th, 4th grade. And I was like, this is the biggest mall in the world. This is the biggest mall in the world. And it's when it was first opening. And I remember my dad telling me, he was like, this is not the biggest mall in the world. He's like, this is the biggest mall in America. The world is way bigger than America. There are malls outside of America that are twice the size of this. And I never really understood it because when I was a kid, I was like, oh, okay, Dad, let's just go to Mall of America. But now that I'm older, I'm like, hold up, my dad told me that shit back in the day. And then I find out that the largest mall in the world is in Iran. I didn't know this. So let's go ahead. I found some videos. Alicia says, T, you're always putting your viewers to the truth, whether ahead of the curve or correcting misinformation that we are purposely fed. You're so welcome and thank you so much. I really appreciate that. But yeah, let me show y'all some of this stuff. I was very surprised because, I'm like, I don't want to just sit there and watch what the media is showing me. I want to know about Iran because it's something over that they want. Because this is sounding too much like what I was going through in elementary school and junior high. Again, we were babies when all these other wars were going, like the Kuwaiti War and all that stuff. The Desert Storm. I think I was like I remember when that happened, I don't know, like elementary school. So it's like a lot of these talking points are taking me back to like the 90s and the 2000s. And I'm not liking these talking points. I'm getting George Bush energy. Okay? So I've been doing my own research. So I'm like, let me see what this country really looks like. So let's go ahead and watch some of these Instagrams. Let's see here. Okay, here it is, the largest mall.
Welcome to the largest mall in the world, and it's not where you'd expect. This is the Iran Mall, located in Tehran, Iran. And while many people think the Dubai Mall is the largest in the world,
remember that name, Tehran? Remember there was bombing over there. And they got the largest mall.
Iran Mall is almost twice the size. At almost 2 million square meters, it has over 7 floors of parking and almost 2,500 stores. And from the very second you walk into this place, it is incredibly extravagant with so much shopping, from Persian rugs to basically anything you can think. And one of the most impressive spots was this grand library that has over 75,000 books. It features lots of traditional Iranian architecture and also blends the modern luxury with the cultural heritage of Iran. And in my multiple hours exploring this place, I didn't even get to see half of what it has to offer. From its ice skating rinks to sports complex to movie theaters, it has it all. And there's even a European area that has the cobblestone streets with plazas and all kinds of European bakeries. But one of the things that really stood out to me is when you go outside of the Iran Mall, they also have a water show like in Dubai, but this one puts the Dubai Mall water show to shame. So as usual, I'm sure you didn't know about this place, especially the fact that it's the largest mall in the entire world. So continue following along to see the other side of Iran that the media doesn't show. Welcome to the...
So do y'all see that? Yes, twice the size of the Dubai Mall. Not that I've been to Dubai, honey, but yeah. And what got me really interested, there's this black man, because I follow a lot of solo travelers and, I like travel stuff. I like history. I like documentaries. And so there's this black traveler, I forget his name, like the bearded guy or something like that. But he travels to like a lot of these Middle Eastern countries. And, a lot of times people are like, oh, stay out of these countries, don't go there. And so people be scared to go to these countries. And so when I started following him, I'm like, dang, he be going to like places I wouldn't even think to want to visit. And the stuff that he shows, it blows me away. So he at first was showing some stuff about Iran. So then I just started going down rabbit holes. I'm like, damn, this country is beautiful. The people are really nice too. So it's like you just gotta, I don't know. I just feel like it's just more to what's going on. Let's see here. Yeah, here goes some other. Here goes another video. Yeah, Tehran got money. And it's very interesting that's where they went to bomb first. So here goes another one. Don't visit Iran. They don't allow Americans in. They hate Americans. It's dangerous. There's nothing to see. Oh, this is his channel here. I said it was somebody bearded. The Bearded Backpacker. I like his videos. He be going to like all the Middle Eastern places as a solo black man. I love his. I follow him on Instagram. Damn, he got music. Okay. Okay, I can't play the music, but look at the views. I mean, it's beautiful. So yeah. So it's a lot. There's lots of like just different. Let me see. I think this is another one of his videos. I don't want to play any music though. Rich culture, kind people, unforgettable moments. This is the Adiz Tower in Tehran. So yeah, it's very, I see a lot of y'all in the chat are very shocked. Like when I tell you I have been doing like a lot of like research.
In Tehran, Iran. Man, what a day to experience. Right behind me is the Azadi Tower, famously known as the Freedom Tower. This tower symbolizes the independence, the freedom, and the national pride for the Persian people.
Yeah, and there's another one. It was a white dude. He was hopping in and out of cars with people. And they were like, yeah, you could be our friend. And they all went out to lunch and some more shit. I'm like, damn, these people are friendly as hell. Okay. Iranians. Let me see what they got going on.
In Iran, 2 Americans and a Brit, as we spend the next 8 days traveling around Iran together. We loaded up the car with some gas, which is less than 10 cents a gallon here in Iran, and then we hit the road on our
Oh, not 10 cents a gallon. Must be nice.
way to Isfahan. And to get our morning coffee, we stopped at this beautiful rest stop on the way from Tehran to Isfahan. And it's definitely surprising to see this modern stuff here in Iran based on the portrayal of Iran in the US. We paid $1.
Now you hear what they're saying? Even these white boys are shocked. They're very shocked to see how modern everything is based on the portrayal that we see here in the US. I see a lot of folks are very shocked in the chat. That's how I was blown away.
$1.50 for our morning coffee and explored the rest stop, which was packed with Iranian tourists traveling all around the country. And with gas being so cheap and actually subsidized by the government, Iranians do a ton of road tripping.
Hold on, wait, objection. Subsidized by the government? What in the hell? What the hell-iance? What? Damn, can we get some subsidized oil and gas? Wow, I didn't know that.
And in the afternoon, we visited the village of Abyane, one of the oldest villages in Iran and over 2,000 years old. We tried some of the local dried fruits and then explored around this beautiful ancient village. It also has the nickname of the Red Village for all of its red-colored mud brick houses. The group then experienced their first example of the Iranian hospitality when this local man invited us into his home and gave us some chai. And then it was time for the final few hours of driving to make it to Isfahan, with another break at a rest stop to fill up on more 10-cent gas.
Look at the rest stop, y'all. And y'all not be on the road, honey. I told y'all last week how horrible that damn Wawa was. The damn Wawa needs to be condemned. The worst damn Wawa I ever went to. Bathrooms didn't work. They was telling everybody to go to Applebee's to go use the restroom. They didn't have no fresh food out there. This was a hood-ass Wawa. And look at their little gas station place. Beautiful rest stops.
We arrived in the beautiful city of Isfahan in the evening and went straight to get one of its traditional meals, which is the local biryani. Made of minced meat and wrapped with bread, it's absolutely fantastic. Follow along for day 2 with the boys in Iran. The boys have officially...
Okay, all right. The boys in Iran.
Actually joined me in Iran. Two American.
So I just wanted y'all to see some of that because, like I said, it surprised me when I started going down the Iranian rabbit holes because I'm like, okay, well, what do we really want from these people? Because if it's just sand and dust, then why are we so worried about what they got? As you see, it's not just sand and dust. They got a lot of stuff over there. Getting low key jealousy vibes. I don't know. But very, very beautiful country. And it just sucks that, all of this stuff is going on right now, So, sad. Sonny says, if Iran has something that benefits China and the U.S., China will back up the U.S. But what is it? I don't know, child. I'm not sure. Yeah, the bread there is cheap. Art says the shock on my face right now. Yeah. Yeah, it really is. That's why, it's very good to go out and visit and go to places, yourself. Traveling internationally, especially if you're healthy, is such a blessing. I suggest everybody travel internationally and, get to meet other people and see other cultures and stuff like that. It really is. A lot of these places that they make it seem like they're third world or, the third world countries. I hate that. They're so derogatory. And when most people go there, they're not third world at all. Yeah, some places, may be poor or, slummy and stuff like that. But that's everywhere. Hell, here in Minnesota, we got, really nice suburbs and you got places on the north side. In Atlanta, you got Buckhead and real upscale places. Then you got East Atlanta. You know what I mean? So it's like every place is going to have, their good and bad. But it seems like when it comes to places overseas, they love to just always show the bad. So I just wanted y'all to see some of that. Yeah. So let me go ahead and read a few more of these super chats here. Shy B says, I feel like these old leaders have damned us. I agree. They start stuff because they know they're not going to have to be the ones, or their children are going to have to be the ones to fight in anybody's war. So that's the part that's just scary. But thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate you. Forever Your Leo says, Iraq's foreign ministry has warned tensions in the regions have reached a dangerous and unprecedented turning point. Let me see if he's come out with a new video since we've been online. Let me check. Yeah, this is, man. Yeah, I think at this point, there's no turning back. I mean, we picked our side. Let's see if there's anything up to date on here 4 hours ago. Trump considers potential strike against Iran and the Iranian military leaders. Oh my God. Breaking news. Iran launches. Okay, we've seen that one. 8 hours. Okay. Trying to check and see if there's anything more up to date. "14 minutes ago. Satellites show the aftermath of the U.S. strike on Iran's nuclear sites." Yeah, I don't care about that. Nuclear experts discuss the U.S. strike in Iran. Man. Questions how much? Yeah, I don't. Sounds like a lot of it wasn't really destroyed. Okay. I think we got the most up-to-date information. I'm just checking to see if anything else is broken here. But thank you, Forever Your Leo. Our season's coming up in like another month. Let's see here. Chascott sent 9.99 says, y'all do not tell your kids to flub the ASVAB if it comes to it. In war, if you can shoot, run, and take orders, they will go. Only physical disabilities will be disqualified. Good scorers, better jobs. So were people saying that they're going to tell their kids to flub the test? Huh. So even if they flub the test, they don't care? I don't, let me Google. Is there like a video on this test? So is it like a running and jumping, like a physical test? Let me see. I don't even know what this is. Let's see. Also, whole study guide. Huh. Parents, my son is too smart to enlist. I want him to become an officer. What? What your score says about you? Y'all want to watch this? I don't know nothing about this stuff. So I guess some people on here giving advice like on how to score higher if you really want to join the military. Okay. It's an entry exam. Okay. Okay, well, let's watch this black man. He's talking about it. He's talking about something out here.
All right, look.
Okay, let's see. I don't know nothing about this, so it's my first time. All right, let's see. Go on, black man. Tell us.
Your ASVAB score absolutely does not define you.
So it's called ASVAB. Okay, because I'm like ASVAB, ASVAB. Okay, all right, cool.
Just kidding. Let's be real. Your ASVAB score definitely says something about you. And based on your score, I'm going to break it down for you so you know exactly where you stand. Starting off with the lower end of the spectrum, 10 to 29. Yeah, you definitely had a waiver. You didn't pick a rate. A rate picked you. But hey, you're still serving, and you got my respect. Now, for those between the 30 and 49 range, you just barely squeaked by. Your recruiter was at home praying for your test scores. Now you're a DC or a bosun's mate. But you're probably one of the hardest workers on the ship. So I'll give it to you. Next, we got the 50 to 59 range. You're right in the middle of the pack. You're the reason that needs of the Navy exist. They gave you a wrench and said, good luck, AD. Wait, next up we got 70 through 84. Now these are solid scores. I happen to be along in this range actually. You had options, but you chose vibes over logic, and I commend you for that. You're probably an MA or an LS talking about, I almost went corpsman once. In the next range, we got 85 to 92. Now, you're smart, but you're not nuke smart. So they slapped you in Intel, IT, or aviation. You're everyone's tech support now. And lastly, we got the 93 plus range. So you got a 93 plus ADVAP score? Congrats, Einstein. You most likely got bullied into going nuke, and you're going to spend the next 6 years glowing in the dark. All right, look, your ASVAB score
Okay, so there's a breakdown on the scores. Okay, that's very interesting. I never knew about any of this stuff. I know SATs. I didn't know about no ASVAB. What is this?
You sure about that? You sure about that? You sure about that? You sure about that?
His ASVAB score was a 7? What in the dumbass is going Not a 7 score on the test. What in the dumbass is going on here? Okay, well, that's interesting. Well, thank you so much for that, Chascott. I appreciate it. Somebody said they got a 98. Miss Anonymous got 110. Oh, they're going to have you doing them secret missions. Oh, my goodness. That is so funny. That person had a 7 and their parents want them to be a military officer. Fuck out of here. He can't lead y'all out of a paper bag. What a 7. Oh my goodness. Okay, so C. Cavalli sent 10, says, hey, Auntie, I'm one of those who like to escape reality and pretend that it's all good when it's not. I'm working on myself. I just wanted to show you some love. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And you know what? Every now and then, we all need some type of escapism, right? Because a lot of this stuff is very heavy, especially when you're talking about world war and, grids possibly going down and cyber attacks and people losing their jobs to AI. We're getting hit with a lot of stuff that ordinarily we wouldn't get hit with this much stuff. So I'm not knocking you for wanting some escapism. It's nice. That's why I do my breaks. That's why, sometimes I don't feel like talking about all this serious shit. We're just going to talk about Krishan today because I need a break. You know what I'm saying? So there's nothing wrong with that. But, just still keep yourself informed when you need to, and when you need to unplug and take a break and go touch grass and go ground yourself, definitely do that. I think there has to be a balance, right? We can't just absorb so much information because that alone causes depression and anxiety and stuff like that. And when you think about us as human beings, we were never meant as a human being to interact with so many people at a time. Think about before social media and cell phones, you really only interacted with like a core group of people. Your parents, siblings, cousins, classmates, people in your neighborhood. And that was maybe like a total of maybe like 60 people. And you didn't interact with all 60 people at one time or in one day. You may not see your cousins for weeks at a time. You may not see this neighbor every day. So you only interacted with so many people throughout the day. Well, now with social media and, with what we do online and, just being connected, we are interacting with thousands of people per minute, per day, all day, every day. That is energy, and that is draining. Every time you get a tweet, every time you get an ad, every time you get an email, that is bits of your energy, being pulled in so many different ways. So it's okay to disconnect and, try to reground yourself. That's why I always tell people, get into gardening and, things that are peaceful, get into nature, walking. Like, I'm a walker. I love to walk. So like walking, like we have like forests and different ravines. We have a lot of lakes here in Minnesota. So, like going on the trails and walking in like the forest, especially like in the fall, it is so beautiful because all the colors. But, even around this time when it's not too hot, just being around nature, listening to the birds, like that will like calm your spirit down. Miss Rue in the chat says, yes, I'm drained and exhausted. Yeah, it is. Social media, can be very, very draining because you're dealing with so many different things and you're being thrown so much information at one time. Like just even going through your feed, it's like war, Iran, Krishan, Cardi B's new song. It's just so many different things. Charleston White fighting the island boy. It's just constant information, So yeah, we have to unplug and disconnect. So definitely don't feel bad about that. But thank you so much. Continue working on yourself. We're all working on ourselves. So thank you for checking in. I appreciate you. Let's see here. Flowers of Scotland. I think I read theirs earlier. They sent a super sticker. Thank you so much for the $50 super sticker. Let's see here. Lynn sent $9.99. She says, hey T, it's my birthday. It's cancer season. Not how I pictured it would go. Blessed to be here. Prayers and love to the 92%. Well, happy birthday to you. I hope you enjoy your day in spite of all, the news that's going on in the world. Like I told you guys on Sunday before, I was attacked by those MAGA bots. Even though we are living in very trying times and we're dealing with a lot, just mentally, emotionally, and there's a lot of unease going on, especially with these attacks and stuff like that. But one thing I do want to remind you is to not live in constant fear, because fear causes stress, it causes anxiety. And at the end of the day, God has the final say. And I want you to realize that. No matter what's going on around the world, there's still babies being born. There's still people getting married. People are still celebrating their birthdays. People are dying. Life is still going to continue, and you have to continue with it. So definitely enjoy your birthday. Don't let what's going on stress you out. And I hope, just you coming here to this stream has, made you feel a bit better, for your birthday and stuff like that. So thank you so much for tapping in. I appreciate you. Because, yeah, it's a lot of political chaos and, economic uncertainty. There's a lot of people going through it right now. So just understand that you're not alone, So I wish you a happy birthday. Evelyn says, T, you got out of NYC just in time. It's hot. You know what's so funny? It's been hot here in Minnesota, too. So while I was in Atlanta, I'm like, damn, the South is just hot for no damn reason. Minnesota got up to like 100 degrees this weekend. So my youngest son, he was out there in my garden. You know, I was watching him on the ring alarm. Me and Sharnetta was watching him because the ring alarm kept going off. So he was out there gardening, like, you know, watering my plants and stuff. And so I come home, I'm like, so are these plants not real in the front yard? He was like, oh, I didn't know I had to water them. Some of my hydrangeas are basically just wilted, so I had to hurry up and water them. He just didn't think to water the flowers in the front. He just assumed they'd be fine. But at least he did tend to the food. He was like, so you made sure the food was watered, but you know, screw the flowers in the front of the house. So I had to go out there and water them. But yeah, it was pretty hot. It was pretty hot this weekend in Minnesota too. So I can imagine New York as well. Virginia, yeah, it seems like it's burning up everywhere. New Jersey got to be 100 degrees. Wow. So it was very hot. Yeah, my poor damn flowers in the flower. But I said, damn, mom can't go for a week because something going to happen. I came home last week, half the damn plants were, you know, lean to the left. I'm like, so you're just not going to water the house plants? Well, you watered them before you left. Well, do you not drink every other day? Do you not eat? These are my babies. Yes, I watered them a week ago. I've been in New York. Oh, okay. So this week he was on it. He watered the garden and he watered the plants in the house, but just forgot about the flowers in the front yard. So I'm a plant mom. I got plants everywhere. So front of the house, side, backyard, patio upstairs. I got a lot of plants. So like once a week, takes about an hour to water everything. Indoor plants, outdoor plants, because the sprinkler system mainly just does the lawn. You know, might hit the flowers, but it's mainly for the lawn. So I go out and I individually water my plants as well. Yeah, my baby's SO expression, my baby's had a gangster lean. I came home, was freaking out, yellow leaves and shit. Because I was in New York the whole week. I'm like, how dare you not water my babies? So they were happy to see me, child. They were like, good, she's back. House was hot, plants were leaning. But he did better this week. Because I'm like, come on now. You got to keep the house running when I'm not here. Thank goodness we ain't got no damn dog. Dog would have been over here hungry. Oh, let's see here. Jay Jersey Girl says, I watched when Anthony Bourdain went to Iran. The family that owns the Mall of America, American Dreams in New Jersey, and the one in Canada is one Iranian family. Oh, wow. I didn't know that. That's interesting. Well, thank you for that tea, Jay Jersey Girl. Appreciate you. Let's see here. Shelly J says there's a documentary on Netflix called Turning Point 911 and movie Vice that gives a good perspective on the war. I'm going to have to check that out. Thank you so much. Let's see here. Okay. I got a lot of super chats. Hold on. My page just refreshed. Like, there's a lot of super. I'm trying to, like, go back up. Okay, where I left off. Okay, Glam Girl. Hey, sis. Glam Girl 09 says, I've been waiting on you to cover this. I don't trust nobody else. Love you and so proud of all you've accomplished. I'm silent, but I'm still here. Thank you so much. I appreciate you checking in, sis. Clarinda Davis says, I wonder if folks found Kamala's laugh annoying. If it feels good right now, here we are shaking my head. Thank you so much for the super chat. Let's see here. Cjo sent 1999 says, hooray. Oh, hooyah. Oh, hooyah. Hooyah. Okay, Navy. Your videos kept me entertained on my most BC recent deployment. We have Wi-Fi on the ships now. Okay, well, that's what's up. I'm glad that they've upgraded y'all to having Wi-Fi because, child, them cruise ships, the Wi-Fi on the cruise ships was just, it was very hit and miss. So I hope y'all's Wi-Fi is a lot better. So thank you so much just for the support, and thank you, for your service, and definitely stay safe. We appreciate y'all. I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right. Is this Naris? No, it's Nares. I'm sorry if I mispronounced it. Nares Cox says, did you hear about the 200 Christians that were killed in Nigeria? Yes, I did. I watched Very Dark Man. That's like one of my favorite Nigerian influencers, when he went to the village and showed like the burnt babies and the burnt bodies from the people who came in there. It's been a lot. It's been a lot going on, like literally globally. Let's see here. I haven't seen anything up to date. It was like the farmers who were attacked. Because I was on his page earlier, and he's saying that he's having like a lot of like nightmares and PTSD. Because he just happened to be in that region when they killed those 200 people. Let me see if I can pull it up for y'all here so y'all know what I'm talking about. Oh, hold up. In Nigeria. Damn. Something happened in Nigeria too. Shit. It's so much conflict. I put in Nigeria, and there was an attack in Nigeria as well. 200 gunmen on motorbikes stormed an army base. Wow. Okay, here it is. I can't show the videos because the video was so graphic. It was so graphic. It was sad watching him, like, just walk through the village and stuff. But this is what's going on currently in Nigeria. It's up. I guess it's up to 218 people now. A cry for help stopped the Benue killings. At least 218 people have been killed and more than 6,000 displaced after a spat of devastating attacks in a mostly Christian village in Benue State in northern Nigeria by suspected, once again, the Fulani militants. It's sad. The attacks happened between the 8th and the 14th of June, with the deadliest being on the 13th, when a displacement camp numbering 400 people in Yelawata was attacked, and the militants first resisted by the military, only for them to retreat, and then they came back. And what was so crazy was a lot of the young people in the village that had to fight back. So this has been like big news right now in Nigeria. And again, what's behind the violence? Basically, they're saying here, it's the Muslims going against the Christians. I mean, it's been like that for a long time. But the sad part is, when it's all said and done, nobody's going to be held accountable. This happens all the time with the Muslims and the Christians fighting constantly in northern Nigeria. There's never any accountability. So that's the part that's just like really insane. And just to see the villages burnt down, the people's food. Like, this was nighttime, so a lot of people were going to bed. They were putting their kids to sleep. And the Fulani herdsmen, they just came in, started burning people alive. They were throwing gasoline on people, burning them alive, burning babies alive. All you saw was ash, baby bones and everything, baby skulls. So it's so much going on, like just globally. It's enough to just make you scream. That's why, like I said, sometimes you have to check out all this stuff. It would drive you insane. That's why I was like, I was glad I just was like, yeah, I'm getting out. I'm glad I went to Atlanta and just had to take a break and decompress and be around people, because it's a lot of evil going on right now in this world. It's a whole lot of evil going on. when you can sit there and burn babies alive, not because they did anything, because of who they choose to worship. A lot of this stuff, I mean, even what's going on right now with this whole Iran and, Israel, religion. These Israeli people, the Jewish people, they think they're the chosen ones. Who gives a shit if you are or not? Live your life, be a good person, and do you. Why does it bother you that somebody doesn't follow your religion? And the same can be said for, the Fulanis. Constantly mad that these Christians won't convert to Islam. And they've been beefing for years. Just killing Christians. So it's sad that most of the stuff that goes on in this world is because of religious strife. But if people were really religious and people really followed the Quran or followed the Bible or the Torah, none of this would be happening if people really, really followed the word. Because if you were really chosen, if you were really for God, you wouldn't be doing all this divisive shit. You would see other human beings as you see yourself. You wouldn't see, I run across, and I didn't know it was this bad, but there's I know y'all have probably seen him. He be viral on TikTok. He is Palestinian. He's a Palestinian influencer. He tends to wear a shirt with the Palestinian flag. And so he'll take calls. And so a lot of people in Israel will call into his show and they be just going off. They be cussing him out. And he had some little Israeli boy. He couldn't have been he couldn't have been no older than 13. And he was just screaming I'm going to shoot you like a dog and da da da. And I left a comment because I was just in shock. I'm like, what is wrong with these people? Why? I said, he's literally 13. Why is he so angry? And so from people responding back to my comment, because I was genuinely just confused at the hate that this man was getting. And they said that a lot of them were indoctrinated to hate Palestinian people. So they're just taught to just hate them no matter what. And I'm just that's crazy to me. And it's no different than how white people in America were taught to hate black people just based on the color of their skin. I mean, think about that picture back in the day, the little black girl. Forgive me for not knowing her name off the top of my head. Remember that was going to school? They were, with the National Guards and all that stuff. They were walking her to school on her first day of school. And all the angry white people, in the background yelling and cussing at this little girl. You don't know that child from a can of paint. She's done nothing to you. But it's it's inbred in people. So to me, it just makes me mad because people talk about religion. They talk about God all the time. But it's if you really understand the Bible and you're really walking in Christ, or you're really walking in whatever religion that you follow, you would not have just a hate like that in your heart for somebody to the point where that you're willing to kill them. That is insane. I was disgusted by that little boy. Ruby Bridges, thank y'all. The Little Rock 5, thank y'all. I couldn't think of her name, but I see her picture. It's seared in my head with her cute little dress and everything else. And it's sad. I hate that a lot of this stuff is just, I don't even want to call it propaganda. It just does not make any sense. Because when you really get to know somebody, skin color, religion, their sexuality, none of that shit matters. Once you remove all of that stuff, all these boxes that we check off, I'm black, I'm white, I'm Jewish, I'm Muslim, I'm gay, I'm straight, I'm single, I'm not, I have kids, I don't have kids, I'm an old mom, I'm a young mom. When you remove all of these stupid boxes that we put ourselves in, when it boils down to, we're all human. We're all human. We all bleed, you know what I'm saying? We all need basic necessities, food and water. So it's really sad. It's depressing. It really is. Somebody says to see color and be triggered is weird. It is. It really is. I'll never forget that picture. It was they were so angry. And people are literally bred like that. And that's what I see when I see some of these kids that call into that man's show. They're just cussing him out, calling him everything but a child of God. And I'm just what are y'all so angry about? Y'all haven't even lived life to be this angry and bitter. You ain't even been through shit. And the kids who are getting actually bombed, who can't even eat lunch with their parents, they're still sitting here begging for mercy. They're still showing grace. I could see if it was like the Gaza kids talking like that. It's sad. Yeah, I was shocked watching those videos. I was shocked. I was like, I've never seen nothing like them. Kids were they were horrible kids, just nasty. Yeah, there was a lot of people that came and they replied back to my comment. And they said that's just how it is over there, that they're just taught to hate, I guess, Palestinian people. And, they're taught, that they're beneath them. And then the one girl, she was like, yeah, we're racist. So what? We're racist against the Palestinians. I said, well, bitch, at least you're honest. Only thing I could give her. But again, she wasn't no older than probably 16. She's like, yeah, we're racist. So what? I'm like, wow. Huh. Okay. Oh, we got over 6,000 people in here. Shout out to y'all. Hope everybody's doing good today, child. Rebecca said they about to shut down your live. They can shit. I've been out here for 2 hours. I'm about to take me a little nap. It's 4 o'clock. Wow. Yeah, I need to go to sleep. I ain't been asleep. We was partying all night in Atlanta. So if they shut it down, that's fine. I'm gonna go to bed. Let me read some more of these super chats here. I want to get to everybody while I'm here. Rose Marin, hey sis, she says he needs to apologize for bullying the woman. Who? I don't even know who you're talking about. But thank you for the super chat. Verbal Beauty Sim 499 says spiritual warfare is real. There's an anime that predicted demons would manipulate leaders to start firing off, and I believe it's true. Oh yeah. We are definitely in a spiritual battle. We're all spiritual beings having a human experience. I definitely believe that. It's a spiritual war out here. Like I said, some of the people that you run across, they're not even people. They're not even people for real. They're in the shapes of human, but when you look at them, you can tell they're off. They're not all there. There's something that's not clicking. You can feel their vibe. A lot of people are moving with like just real demonic, low vibrational energy. That's why I say it's very important, especially in this time that we're in, that you really kind of like, and I've had to do this too, like really reevaluate the people around you. And I don't care if it's family, if it's friends, reevaluating your inner circle, those around you. Because yeah, it's definitely spiritual warfare out here. And like I always say, the devil gives gifts too. A lot of times people think that gifts are just from God. Oh, God gave me a gift. Oh, the devil be giving gifts too. And sometimes the devil will send people into your life to bring chaos and destruction and just, to just keep you in a constant state of anxiety and depression and things like that. So sometimes you have to really check the people who are around you, because they will not only drain your energy, but drain your life force. Motherfuckers be really out here trying to kill people spiritually. So yeah, it's the truth. So thank you for the super chat. Miss Sparkles 22 says all Iran wanted was for the war to stop. Yeah, we chose otherwise, unfortunately. Kay Jones says I blame Shamar for this war. Not Shamar. Y'all are a mess. Let's see. Wavy Tay, looks like he sent another 1999, says, hey, auntie, this is for the people coming for me. Did y'all have the same energy towards the people who voted for Biden when they turned on him because he kept sending our money to Israel? Hold up, it cut off. Because he kept sending, oh, hold on, where did it go? Okay, because he kept sending, look, now my thing crashed. YouTube is messing with my stream. Hold on, let me see if I can pull it back up. I'm trying to read your comment and the whole thing just crashed on me. Let me go back up. Hold on. Okay, here it is. Did y'all have the same energy towards the people who voted for Biden when they turned on him because he kept sending our money to Israel after 10/07? Stand tall, Kobe. All right now. He said he's speaking up for him and young Kobe. So thank you, Wavy Tay. And I don't think, for the most part, people didn't agree with them sending money to Israel either. I just think at this point, Israel needs to stand on their own too. America just needs to back up off and let them do what they need to do. But that's just my, humble opinion. Let's see here. Lolo sent $4.99. Thank you so much. High Vibrational 2007 sent $10. Says Deja Vu. China is Mariah Carey. Trump is J-Lo. I don't know her, girl. Y'all are a mess. Thank you for the super chat. Glasses said, do you think we're going to have a civil war before World War III? I think it's a lot of stuff going on here at one time. A lot of end times prophecy being fulfilled. I think if we do have a civil war, it would be due to immigration. I think immigration is such a hot button topic, and the way that people are being treated, snatched up, kidnapped, and just deported is insane. And now you're seeing more and more people standing up, hence all the stuff that we saw recently in California with the people versus the ICE agents, and then the military, National Guard was sent out there. So I can definitely see a civil war brewing, even with MAGA. They're having their own little civil war. Half of them are for what's going on in Iran, and the other half are not. There's a big divide going on right now in this country. Outside of just politics, outside of the Democrats versus the Republicans, it's a big civil war. A lot of people are just, they're going at it. You have race playing an issue, the black versus white, immigrants versus, people who are non-immigrants. Hell, even the gender wars. Can we add that into the mix? Men and women not getting along. Women don't want to be bothered. Men don't want to be bothered. A lot of men don't even know how to be men anymore. So there's a lot of divisiveness going on right now in the world in general. Women don't feel protected, and a lot of these men don't know how to protect. They're more worried about protecting their homeboys than they would ever a woman. Just like the video I did the other day about the couple that ended up, he pow-powed, or stabbed, actually. He stabbed the girl and then offed himself. So it's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of things. So I can definitely see a civil war popping off, even before we're officially in World War III. I think it's going to be a breaking point here because there's such a divide here in America. And most people do not want to go to war. They don't want to be bothered with this. And then you have the rich versus poor. You have that dynamic as well. The middle class is shrinking more and more. You have people's jobs being taken away by AI, people getting laid off. That sense of normalcy that we grew up with. Go to school, get your education. And then once you graduate, you'll find a husband and you guys will get a house and have 2.3 kids. Just all the bullshit that we were fed as children. And you had people who went, they did everything right, went to school, got their degrees, got into student loan debt, getting their degrees. And now they're getting letters saying that if you don't start paying this is going on your credit report, which is going to affect people even more. So, yeah. There's a lot, Shanny, exactly. There's a lots of chaos going on in 2025. And to me, it's a powder keg just waiting to blow. I think there's more to worry about internally here in America than even what's going on overseas. I mean, you can even tell with the celebrities, the energy is very different. Very, very different. The money is not what it was. Wasn't B. Simone, wasn't that her crying? They've been dragging her for the past 48 hours on the internet. B. Simone you know, she was at the event I was at the other day, so I did see her. I didn't talk to her, nothing like that. You know, I'm big on energy. You know, I don't do weird energy, standoffish energy, and y'all know me, I don't chase nobody. You know what I'm saying? I'm a very cool person. I don't chase nobody. You know, do a little, little fake head nod and keep it moving. You know, my people's is Yandy and them. But yeah, she's been going viral for like a lot of weird shit. That's how you know, like, the celebrity lifestyle, the influencer stuff, all that don't mean nothing no more. That's why I've always preached, like, you know, stack up, save, go to trade school, do what you can, do what you got to do, because I already knew, I've been talking about all this stuff for years, that times are going to get harder. Yeah, let me pull it up for y'all who didn't see her crying. They've been accusing her of not being a good friend to her friend. So that's one thing she's been accused of and getting dragged for. And then she's been getting dragged because, you know, she talked about how she would never date a 9-to-5 man, a man who worked a 9-to-5. So people have been dragging her about that. Let me see. I'm going to pull up some stuff. Hold on. I'm only bringing this up just because we're talking about, you know, the economy, and even celebrities are struggling. So this is one of the videos. About her friend. So this video's going viral. And I don't know who her close friend is. I don't watch her podcast, but like I said, it's been all over the Shade Room and different recently blog sites. So we're gonna watch this. And then, like, it was fun because of this podcast, then she started breaking down, talking about she, you know, her money's not the same and she can't shop at Bloomingdale's, all types of just, I don't know, it was just weird. I'm like, girl, we in a war, you talking about Bloomingdale's. So let's watch this real quick.
Recently, I have this opportunity and I called you and I told you about it. And you were just like, okay. Mm-hmm. And you called me back.
I called her right back, y'all. I was so convicted. I was so convicted.
You were like, I didn't like how I felt when you told me that. And I was like, what do you mean? You were like, I don't know what it is. I'm talking this out in real time. But whatever it is, I don't like what I felt. And I said, did you feel jealous? And you were like, I don't think I feel jealous.
Cause we went through all the emotions. She's like, are you angry? Are you sad? Are you jealous? I was like, I'm not jealous because I don't want what you have. I'm I'm sad and I'm angry and I'm upset that I'm not doing it with me.
Yeah.
Like, we're not working together.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have that. Y'all, let me tell you something. Anybody that's in my circle, I want to work with you. I want to put you on. I'm putting you in position. I like doing it together.
You do.
How can we do this together? How can we make money together? How can we build together? How can we grow together? How can we all pitch in together? How can we be millionaires I want to do it together.
Yeah.
And there was a point in my life where I had that and it was crumbled. So I feel like since that has ended, that season, I've always yearned for it again. But it's just been a season of solitude for 2 damn years.
Maybe the longest season ever.
The longest season ever.
Yeah.
And I think, I
recently,
So a lot of people just kind of, it was another one though. I thought there was more clips on here. It was that part she kept screaming Jesus. It was just weird. She's like, Jesus. Let me see. Is this the one? Oh, this one. This is the one.
You remember that time you had FaceTime me? I had really good news.
Recently, I have this opportunity and I called you and I told you about it. And you were just like, okay. Mm-hmm. And you called me back.
I called her right back, y'all.
No, that's not the video. Where's the video about her? She kept saying Jesus because her friend was saying that she was going through it and she didn't help her. So people was dragging her about that. But anyways, let me pull up the other video. Hold on. Is this it? Okay, this is the one. People have been dragging her about this.
I just don't have it like to spin. The liquid.
Yeah.
He can't have a 9-to-5.
What? Why not? You don't want to have an honest job?
I mean, he could be a hustling entrepreneur.
So you want him to be you want CEO status?
Yes.
Okay, he can't clock in and clock out.
No.
Damn, beautiful.
Just my finances. Like, The budgeting, you see how I am nitpicking every little thing. I've never been like that. We were in Bloomingdale's yesterday. I'm like, we have to go to H&M. I just don't have it like to spend the liquid.
Yeah.
He can't have a 9 to 5.
Okay, she's exhausting. Let me go. So this is going viral because people felt like you're saying that you can't afford to shop at Bloomingdale's and now you have to shop at H&M. But do you realize there's people who have to shop at the Goodwill? There are people who have to, go to consignment stores. Like, there's just more serious things. But then people dug up that old video of her, excuse me, saying that she wouldn't date a guy who worked a 9 to 5. Now, initially, because I remember this going viral a few years back, and I had assumed that she was saying she didn't want a guy who dated a 9 to 5 because of what she does. A lot of times because she's in the industry. So I'm thinking maybe because she wants somebody in the industry. Like when she's ready to get up and go, she wants her man to be able to get up and go. She doesn't want her man to be able to ask, the boss, like, oh, can I put in vacation time? Can I do this and that? So that's what I thought she meant by saying that. But from the clip that's a little bit longer, it sounds like she doesn't want somebody who clocks in, like she's not looking to date a 9 to 5. So a lot of people have been kind of dragging her about that. Like, this is why you need to be humble, because you can be on top, cash in Wild and Out checks and doing comedy shows. And now you're crying about you can't even afford to go shopping at Bloomingdale's. So again, like I said, and it's not just B. Simone, a lot of celebrities are going through it. A lot of them. That's why they're all starting podcasts and, trying to do live shows and go on tours and things like that. Because in this day and age, celebrity doesn't even really exist. Like, what is the difference right now between these celebrities and these influencers? The line has blurred so much. You really can't even tell the difference anymore. So, yeah, it's a lot of people right now who are really struggling and really going through it. I wish I could find that clip about her and her friend, though. That was just a weird clip. And she just kept screaming, Jesus. Let me see if it's on the Shade Room. Let me see. Because it was viral and everybody was going off about it because of how she, did her friend. Let me look and see. I'm not seeing it. Might have went down too far. Let me look on Hollywood Unlocked. They might have it. I'm trying to look and see, but I'm not seeing it. If y'all find it, let me know. But it's funny, they've turned it into a meme at this point. Because her friend was like, yeah, and I was growing broke and you were helping other people, and I was very hurt because you were, looking out for other people and you weren't looking out for me. And she just kept saying, Jesus, Jesus. It was weird. It was almost like she was acting like her friend wasn't talking to her. That's why I didn't understand. She just kept screaming, Jesus. Let me see if I can Google it. It's a funny video. Now, I don't know if this is on TikTok or what. Okay, this is a video. I found the video. It's on TikTok.
Being a best friend with...
Okay, this is the video right here. Like I said, she's been going viral because of these clips. And it's just funny watching this. Okay, let me see if I can pull up the... Okay, there we go.
Being a best friend with a celebrity, everybody thinks that, because you're connected to this person, then your life is just as grand as theirs, or you got
it, or they helping you.
Baby, didn't have a job, living with my parents. a single mom, all this happened to me this past year.
Jesus.
And then it's like to not have resentment in my heart towards you because I saw you do this for other people. I saw you give a check to somebody to help them through whatever they went through. And it's like, God, like nobody didn't give me a handout, but guess what? That wasn't your responsibility. God had to take me through that for my own season, for my own thing. I had to get my car repossessed.
Jesus.
I had to go through the food stamps line. I had to be on Medicaid because whatever I'm building my story too. But it's like, as a friend somebody who has it, it's hard to digest. They're probably shocked that I'm even saying this right now.
That was the clip. People have been dragging her all week behind that mess. Because it's just like, bro, like, why are you talking like she's not talking to you? She's like, Jesus. But again, I don't know if they podcast together, like, you know, every week. I don't know what their relationship, because I've never listened to her podcast. I don't know if she's like a podcasting partner. But if you're my friend, I don't understand, like, if we're like, because she said in the earlier clip that she wants to get money with her friend. So why is your friend on food stamps and getting her car repossessed? Not saying that she has to buy her friend a car, but it's just like, are y'all not splitting the podcast revenue? Like, I guess I'm just confused as to like how that is set up. I don't know. But it just seems like her friend is going through a lot of stuff and her only response is, Jesus. Oh, that clip had me cracking up because I'm like, what? Are you listening to what this girl is saying? She's just screaming, Jesus. She's a trip. She's a trip. Let's see here. Tiniest littlest kiwi sent $20. She says, T, did you hear the conspiracy theories that the U.S. also wants to build a dome? Israel wants to destroy a certain statue or rock a building, the third temple, Bible prophecy, and also the U.S. wants to do a self-attack on its own people. I have heard, we talked about that the other day. I guess they're calling it in the U.S. the Golden Dome, which is kind of after the Iron Dome. So I have heard about that. And I wouldn't be surprised if there's, you know, other things that happen. You know, I'm not even going to go there. But I wouldn't be surprised at all. Nothing shocks me at this point. But thank you so much for the super chat. Let's see. I think I read that one. Okay, so Jamal Isaac sent 10. He says, thank you for all your hard work, your beautiful soul, knowledge, and truth. I've been subbed since your Jelani Maraja story. Don't mean to be long-winded, just wanted to show genuine thanks and appreciation. Well, thank you so much, Jamal Isaac. I appreciate you, and thank you for that wonderful message. That means a lot to me. So, yeah, you've been here for a while if you've been here since I was covering that case. So, thank you. Let's see here. Lauren O sent 10. Said the U.S. is giving bottom of the barrel trashy vibes. Just jealous of everyone's peace. Clock it. Yeah, it's a lot going on. P Vibe sent 1999 says, hey T, it's also about the mineral antimony. Iran just discovered an abundance of it. China banned antimony exports to the U.S. It's needed for technology and military weapons. The West is desperate for it. Ooh, I didn't know that. Let me look that up. Let's see if we can find some type of news on that. I didn't know that at all. Oh, shit. Iran discovers an antimony reserve after 10 years of exploration. Oh. Wow. Thank you for that information. I'm trying to see if I can find like a video. Let's see. If not, I'll pull up the article. Oh, there's a TikTok video on it. Well, thank God for TikTok.
Iran has just discovered.
Okay, let me pull up the video. So, P Vibes is right. They have discovered a new mineral in Iran in March of 2025. So this might be why they're really over there. Let's watch this real quick.
Iran has just discovered the largest reserves of natural resources in the world, and they could be worth trillions of dollars. Today, Iran announced they've been searching for the last 10 years, and they've discovered over 7,000 tons of antimony. And if you don't know what that is, it's a really rare and expensive metal, which is used for all sorts of technology. And according to the report that Iran put out, they've actually discovered about 10% of the global supply, meaning Iran has a huge amount of this antimony. And on top of this, about 2 years ago, Iran announced they had found large deposits of lithium as well, which is also worth a lot of money, as I'm sure you know. And the reason I'm mentioning this now is because Iran said they're going to start mining it in 2025, which is obviously now. Now, Iran didn't release a huge amount of information on these antimony reserves, but they did say it was a large amount that they found. Although this isn't anything unusual, Iran never usually releases much information on anything. And something else to note, the report says that the price of antimony is expected to 4x over the next few years, as it becomes more known and more relied on. So this means that Iran doesn't have to rush and spend more money than they need to extracting it, like they would if it was oil or gas, which are more common. But regardless, Iran has discovered about 10% of the world's antimony reserves, which are worth a huge amount of money.
Wow. Objection. Like, is that why is this? Let me just shut up. Thank you for that information. That's crazy. So, is that the real reason all of this stuff is happening? It's always something. The minerals are always in the background. Remember, that's why, what's his name? The president of Ukraine, Vladimir Zelensky, that's why he was invited here. They were supposed to be talking about rare earth minerals. And then what happened? He basically got clowned and, harassed by Trump and friends. So, wow. Thank you so much for that information. I'm going to be doing more deep research on that. So I appreciate it. Callie Farah sent $10, says they lied on Islam. They lied on Islam all the time. It's the first religion to allow women to own property, inheritance, get an education, abortion rights, etc. The first university was opened by a Muslim woman. Thank you so much for that information. I appreciate it. And I think the problem is the people who have taken over in a lot of these countries, they've taken a lot of these women's rights away. Like what's going on right now in, what is that? Is it Iraq? Where it's like the women, at some point they were free, they were going to school. And now is it the Taliban, whoever who took over that region? And they're making it where they can't do what they need to do. And I think they focus more on the extremists and how they put women under oppression than the women who are doing well in a lot of these Muslim countries. So, yeah. Afghanistan. Thank you. They took like all their rights away once America left. Yeah, this was just 6 days ago. Totally took all their freedoms. Afghan women fear near total social, economic, and political exclusion. Zero women in the national or local decision-making bodies. Zero girls projected to be in the secondary education following December 2024 ban. These numbers are part of the index released Tuesday by Gender Equality Agency's UN Women, which is the most comprehensive study on gender inequality in Afghan since the Taliban resumed control in 2021. So, yeah. And I think because they tend to focus on those Muslim countries, people tend to think that that's how it is all through, Islamic culture, when that's not true. So thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate you. Okay, Simply Us in the chat says a YouTube influencer visited Afghanistan and the people told her they just want America to stop getting in their business and the women are happy. Yeah, probably forced to say that. But I don't think America should be in their business. They should have never been over there anyways. Okay, so let me read this one. Lightfoot Toya said $19.99. Thank you so much, Lightfoot Toya. I appreciate you. Behind the Blind, Sim $4.99 says, unfortunately, all of my nieces, cousins, etc. are a part of the T's. We don't want those kind of mental issues serving our country. Hint. Okay. Thank you for the super chat. Charlie's Transportation World sent $10, says facts. 100, there's nothing wrong with taking a break on social media. Definitely. Thank you for the super chat as well. C. Cavalli Sin 5 says, keep it up. And then they say, yes, the Holocaust was horrible. Other lives other than Israelis matter too. A kid dying is a kid dying. Thank you so much for that. I definitely agree. You have a lot of children who don't ask to be born, who are born into situations and circumstances that they have no control over. Unfortunately, they're the ones affected by adult decisions. Let's see here. G. Owen says, this is why I don't watch the news. The only news I watch is you, Lovely T, and all the sports news. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you. Julia sent $4.99. Thank you, Julia. Brianna says, what are your thoughts on the Astroworld documentary? I have not watched it. My cousin, when I was in New York visiting my cousin, he was telling me about it. And so he was like, I'm trying to finish watching your deep dives on Astroworld so I can compare it. So I ended up sending him the link so he could watch the Astroworld deep dives because he's on my Patreon, but he doesn't know how to find the videos. So I send him the links directly, but I haven't watched it. My deep dive is, all I needed to, I think I dove in there very deep. And I'm proud of my deep dive, but I will watch it. I just haven't gotten around to it, though. Because I want to compare it, too. Because I remember the last one, was that the one that Hulu put up? And then they had to herp and take it down. And I didn't get a chance to see it. And a lot of people said they took a lot of stuff from my deep dive in that Hulu documentary. I think they try to go too deep. And that's not going to work on like a public, platform. Like on a national platform. Because everybody's not going to get it. So I'm assuming the Netflix one is probably more superficial. Like, oh, this is such and such's backstory. And around this time, the crowd just fell on top of them. I'm sure that's what's going to more or less happen. But I went at it like a real esoteric, really deep spiritual level. Because that's all that was to me. That whole Astroworld thing was nothing but energy harvesting at its best. And a sacrifice. And now we see, we fast forward to 2025. Remember, they tried to shame Travis Scott for a while. Humiliation ritual. But now let's look at Travis Scott and what he's doing. He's running around with that witch. So he hasn't changed at all. Michelle Lammy. Have y'all seen the new pictures of him with her? Let me see if I could pull it up. Ugh. It looks so demonic. Which y'all swerping down that my documentary was reaching. So this is what's been going viral with Travis Scott lately. If y'all haven't seen this. And this is saying it right out. Travis Scott might have sold his soul to the Hollywood witch. Disturbing footage could prove it. So that's him with Michelle Lammy in this picture. He's naked with a pillow on top of him. She's laid back. Looks like her legs are gapped open. Just a weird picture. Looks very demonic. Then there's all these weird orbs in the pictures as well. The orbs look like little spirits. They're like all over the picture. And then this antler thing reminds me of those Rothschild parties from back in the day. If you ever seen pictures of like the Rothschild parties, and they'd have like antler horns and deer horns and stuff. Just really weird. So yeah, a lot of people are talking about these new pictures that he put out with Michelle. So yeah, when I get a chance, I probably will watch it. I just haven't gotten a chance to. I still need to watch Straw as well, because I heard that's really good. I haven't gotten a chance to watch that either. But once I watch it, I'll let you know. So thank you for the super chat. Anastasia says, I just got home from work. Love you, T. Love you too. Thank you for tapping in with me. What a Gem sent $4.99 says, Assalamu alaikum, Auntie T. It is troubling times, and Bill Gates just released GMO mosquitoes into the public. Lord, not GMO mosquitoes. Wow. That man just be doing anything at this point. It's scary. Thank you for the super chat, sis. What a Gem sent another $4.99 says, if y'all know them people are preparing for a false messiah, it's why they are digging under the holy mosque. May God help us. Thank you for the super chat. For the sake of Haiti, sent 20 says, imagine someone converts to a religion, leaves their land in Europe, come to your land and take your house because they claim their land was promised to them. This is what happened with Israel and the Israeli descendants. That's a good way to break it down. That makes sense. Because when I heard a lot of those people that are in positions of power in Israel, they don't even have like real Jewish names. Like their names are not even real. They have European names, but they changed it to seem more Jewish. There's like a whole, I ran across like a whole video about that on Instagram. So I thought that was interesting. But thank you so much for the super chat. Ronaful says, ladies, get your pew-pews. Learn to fight self-defense. You'll be a target for invading men in your own countrymen. If things pop off, we are the spoils of war. That is so true. And if you guys do not understand, it is getting real with the ICE raids. Several men have been caught pretending to be ICE officers just so they could have sex and rape women. It's getting real. Let me show y'all this. I was investigating this earlier before the stream. So you're definitely right, Wonderful. That's what's so scary with this whole ICE thing, because these people are popping up in mass. They don't have to show ID. They can just grab folks off the street. And you don't know if they're real ICE officers, because look at this right here. I said, look at this right here. Hold on. Where's my... what am I on? IG? No, that's not the one. Oh, you know what? I'm on a whole nother thing. I'm sorry. Sorry. I was on a different thing. Okay, here it is. So these men here, let me see. They had pretended to be ICE agents. So multiple ICE impersonators arrested. One man allegedly said he would deport a woman if she didn't have sex with him. So it's getting real out there. This is like really frightening. So they say here, authorities in 3 states have arrested men accused of impersonating ICE agents in South Carolina. Sean Michael Johnson was charged with kidnapping and impersonating an officer after allegedly detaining Latino men on the Charleston County Road. In Philadelphia, a 22-year-old Aiden Stingelmeyer was arrested and suspended from his university while 2 other suspects fled the scene. In North Carolina, damn, this is in 3 different states. What the hell? In North Carolina, Carl Thomas Bennett was charged with impersonation and sexual assault after allegedly threatening to deport a woman at a Motel 6 if she didn't comply. That is so scary and sad. That is disgusting. You already have people who are scared. They don't want to, get removed. And so now you have people who are pretending to be ICE officers and taking these people's vulnerability. Like, are you serious? This is so evil and demonic. That is sick. And then, imagine these women are feeling like they have no choice but to sleep with these men to be allowed to stay in the country. And then you only to find out they're not even fucking ICE officers. So you're right, sis. Women better, protect themselves. Get your gun license. Do what you got to do. Let's see here. Ask Sally Ann says B. Simone also had the baby in bed doing a podcast. Child, he done fell off so much. I guess they can kick it now because now he done fell off. Nobody else is checking for him. But thank you for the super chat, though. Dexter Davis says, what's up, T? I hope you're doing well. I'm waiting for you to throw another event so I can pop up. That weekend in Nashville was epic. I know. It was such a vibe. Right now, we're trying to figure out my birthday. So when I do my birthday, I'm going to definitely send you an invite. We had so much fun. And I liked your Tupac outfit, too. Like Nashville, if you guys missed my Nashville party, y'all missed it. My Millie party was so lit. So right now, because we're not going to do it, we're not going to have the island party because I just decided, the more I just talked about it to everybody, with everything going on right now, with, the wars and just all this craziness, I don't want to do anything overseas. I don't want us to leave and be stuck because they done bombed and they done shut down the airports out. So we're going to stick to doing something here in the States. So I'm trying to find, I still kind of want to do an island theme, but I'm not doing nothing in Miami. Miami's too expensive. So I'm just trying to think of something. We're trying to find some all-inclusive places to do the party at. So I don't know. We're having to go back to the drawing board, but I have my team helping me. So hopefully we'll be able to figure out something like this week so we can narrow it down, just because Leo season is right around the corner. So I do want to have something planned. But yeah, Nashville was a vibe. I would do something in Nashville again, but it's I want to do something different. I'm not doing nothing here in Minnesota. And people could be asking, when you going? No, I'm not. No. Out of town we go. Now, if you in Minnesota and you want to come, cousin, but I'm not throwing no parties here. I've tried. And they don't work out. People here are very unprofessional. The decorations be blah, but yet they be wanting to charge an arm and a leg. So I get more bang for my buck out of town around people who know how to really throw events and parties. So it won't be here. It'll be out of town somewhere. We're just trying to figure out where. But but you know what? I'm honestly, part of me, I still want to go to Yellowstone. What's up with that? Did we forget about the Yellowstone plans? Discorders? I really still want to go to Yellowstone. Before the erupts. I still want to go see the geysers and all that stuff. I still want to take a trip out there. So I ain't forgot. I still want to do that. So I'm even thinking is there some things out there? I don't want to party in Yellowstone. I don't think that'd be a place to party. But I want to go there just for peace of mind. You know what I'm saying? Just do a little small glamping trip. I think that's what they call them, glamping. Because I'm not sleeping on the floor. I want a nice cabin. But I want to do a glamping trip out to Yellowstone. So I want to plan that sometime. But as far as my party, I'm going to figure something out and I'm going to let y'all know. But yeah, we have to cancel the island theme. It's too much going on worldwide. I'm we're staying here. Fuck that. It's too much. So we're going to stay here in America and find something to do. But I will keep you posted once I get it all figured out. Because yeah, Nashville was a vibe. It was lit. We had so much fun. Yeah, Minnesota is cool. If I, honestly, it's cool to do a backyard shindig. Like if I want friends to come over, like my out of town friend, like when I had my housewarming party, that was lit. When I did my ugly Christmas sweater party at my house, that was lit. Like Minnesota is cool if I'm doing stuff at my house. You know what I'm saying? If I'm entertaining here. But as far as like outside of my house, there's like no. I don't see anything like where I'd be like, oh, I like this venue. Oh, we can hire this person to no, like there's just not that. You hire folks, they just disappoint every single time. You try and put people in position up here, they drop the ball. So I don't want to do anything else here. I will spend my money out of town and put people out of town who understand how to throw events. I'll give them a bag. Because Carol and everybody who did my party in Nashville, I didn't have to worry about anything. Like we literally just showed up. Everything was done. The food, the decorations, the party gifts, everything was done. And if you're paying as much money as I be paying for my events, that's how it should be. I shouldn't have to be running around with like a chicken with my head cut off. I ain't got time for that because I pay good money to people. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to break bread with people who know how to be professional. Like I shouldn't be paying to do decorations. If I'm telling you that my party starts at 6, why are you still blowing up balloons? Explain that. So I've tried to give people a chance up here and they have dropped the ball. So I'm not ever doing another event in Minnesota. All my events will be out of town. So like I said, I'm gonna spend money with people who are professional, who know how to throw events and parties. Like I want to just show up and look cute and have fun. I don't want to be sitting here dealing with stress and, unfortunately, this is not a place where they know how to do events properly. So that's why I do most of my stuff in Atlanta. Nashville is definitely a great contender. They did an awesome job in Nashville. So if y'all know some good party planners in your city, let me know. I would love to do something in New York too. But now with all this going on, I'm going to have to take New York off the list. Because we're really thinking about doing like some really dope stuff in New York when I was talking to my New York tea sippers. Because there's some spots in New York that I love that were a straight up vibe. But, with all this shit going on now, we can't even do New York. We ain't trying to go out to New York. So, I don't know. I'm going to figure something out. I'll keep y'all posted. Yeah, Myrtle Beach is cute. It's cute. San Francisco. The Bay Area. Have y'all cleaned it up? Because last time I checked, there was a lot of homeless people that they were like trying to, they were mad about the homeless people like just taking over and stuff. So I don't know. I've never been to the Bay at all. We'll figure something out. Yeah, I love a good theme. So now I'm just like, dang, I just got to figure out like the theme and how I want it. But we'll figure something out. Y'all know we always go hard. So we'll figure. Dexter, we gonna party. Don't worry about it. We gonna do something this year. I can't go a whole another year and not throw something. Shit, I've been outside. I'm still trying to be outside. Let me see here. Oh, yeah, and then Dexter gifted 5 memberships. So if you want to join the membership, he gave away 5 free memberships. So thank you so much, Dexter. I appreciate you. C. Cavalli sent $20. Thank you so much. I appreciate you for the $20 super sticker. Forever Your Leo says, T, there's a pardon January 6th who's been bragging about posing as an ICE officer, and he got the outfit from Amazon. Wow. I'm not even surprised at this point. I feel like a lot of the ICE officers are ex-January 6 people. I don't know. I just feel that in my gut. I really do. My dude says, I'm trying to be UT. You trying to be outside? You trying to be outside? I'm telling y'all, and people be getting mad because I just have only so many spots. I just post the link and that's it. So it's just whoever gets the link, first come, first serve. That's it. Yeah. But I go hard though. Like when you come to my events, they'll put a teacup if you've been to a lovely tea event. We eat good music, good drinks. I don't drink, but them tea sippers, they drink. they be turned the fuck up, okay? It be, I go hard. I go hard for my events because I feel like I want to put on a nice event for the people who have supported me all these years. You know what I'm saying? So like, why just put on events for like other influencers and celebrities? They go to events like that all the time. But a lot of just, just regular fans, they don't get to go to events where everything is done up and there's professional photographers and videographers and good music and good vibes. So I go hard. Okay, you see the teacups, honey. Yes. I do not play. My events be lit and the food be popping. That's one thing we gonna do. We gonna eat. Okay? We're not eating walking tacos, bitch. Objection! No walking tacos. Okay, we're gonna have hot meals and desserts. Okay? Shit, I spend thousands on food. Oh, we gonna eat. It's a catered event. Beautiful. Hands down. Yeah, I go all out. I go all out. I do not play that. Because I done been to a few people's events. I'm like, okay, absolutely not. Don't be no food. The influencers don't want to take no pictures. Got attitudes. Don't be lit like that. So I go hard. I go hard because... Thank you, Nay. Yep, I do. We go hard. Lady Lyrical. She said she still got her wristband. Oh, you saved it as a souvenir. That's what's up. Yeah, I've been giving gifts, all types of stuff, booklets. Do everything, child. So we're gonna have fun. Brooke says, "Can you adopt me?" How old are you now? You can't be my age wanting to be adopted. Depends on your age. Let's see here. Brown Eye says, I missed you in New York, or oh darn. Oh, New York was such a good time. Thank you for the super chat. There's a video of Bounty Hunter speaking about ICE. He needs to go. Child, the 80s called. They want their outfit back. Dog the Bounty Hunter is so annoying. He was down there. Wasn't he down there all up in the Gabby Petito case? Like, sir, we ain't forgot them racist phone calls to mom. I'm here looking for Brian Laundrie. Take your ass back to Hawaii. Let's see here. Hyra Beauty Senpai says Trump said Israel and Iran have agreed to complete a total ceasefire. BBC News also said that Israel and Iran have yet to confirm a ceasefire has been reached. Is that the update? We're going to have to look it up. Kamara Johnson says, hey, T, I just moved here to West Yellowstone and I'm in love. It's a small city in Montana, a great place for visitors. Can you email me some information? Because I don't know nothing about Montana. I know my oldest son, he was talking about, I think he was talking about Wyoming. He wants to like go to Wyoming and stuff like that. Because I've never been to that part of the country and I really want to go out there. Can you email me and just like let me know some stuff about like your area and the visiting stuff? Because I would do like a small glamping trip with like maybe like 10 ladies. You know what I'm saying? Let's do like a ladies glamping trip and just, be under the stars. Well, not the whole night because I need to sleep in a cabin. But, just be out there like, around the stars and the campfire. Who's down? Because I really do. I really want to see Yellowstone. I really do. I want to see the geysers and all that stuff. Eric says, let's go to Yellowstone T. Eric, you going to take me? You going to be my date to Yellowstone? Give me a little ranger hat on. I do. I really want to check it out. I like nature, but not, like a certain type of nature. Like I'm not about to be sleeping on the ground in a sleeping bag. Like, I want a cabin, working toilet, things like that. So I like nature to a certain extent. But yeah, I want to go to Yellowstone. I do. Eva says she's down. I know that's right. How long have I been on? I've been out here for 3 hours, y'all. It don't even feel like it. I ain't been asleep yet. When I tell you I left the club, I slept for 2 hours in Atlanta and had to get up and get to the airport. Oh, I'm about to sleep well after this stream. I'm about to be knocked out, honey. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. I can't wait. So let me see if there's any updates before I go on the war. Let's see if they have anything else. If there is a ceasefire, let's see. Iran, what's going on now? The most updated stuff. Okay, new details on Iran's missile attacks on the bases on Qatar. Oh, no, not no damn 4-hour stream. Y'all tried it. All right, let's see what else is going on here. Damn, they're still firing people. Intel fired 10,000 workers. Wow. People still getting laid off. This is sad. Let me go on to Twitter real quick and see if there's any updates. Ceasefire is trending. 12-day war is trending. All right, well, let's see what the ceasefire is talking about. 27 minutes ago. Trump just said something. Hold on. Let me share my screen. All right, what do you got to say? This man is exhausting. Congratulations to everyone. It has been fully agreed by and between Israel and Iran that there will be a complete and total ceasefire in approximately 6 hours from now, when Israel and Iran would have wound down completed their final missions for 12 hours, at which the war will be considered ended. Officially, Iran will start the ceasefire, and upon the 12th hour, Israel will start the ceasefire, and upon the 24th hour, an official end to the 12-day war will be saluted by the world. During each ceasefire, the other side will remain peaceful and respectful on the assumption that everything works as it should, which it will. I would like to congratulate both countries, Israel and Iran, on having the stamina, courage, and intelligence to end what should be called the 12-day war. This is a war that could have gone on for years and destroyed the entire Middle East, but it didn't and never will. God bless Israel. God bless Iran. God bless the Middle East. God bless the United States of America. God bless the world. Donald J. Trump, President of the United States of America. This dude is a trip. Okay. So is he saying that he made the agreement? It's going to be very interesting to see. That's what on our road. Ceasefire just announced by Trump without a single American. Okay, well, let's see what they had to say. How long is it? Okay, this is a minute long.
What does that mean?
Hold on.
Seconds ago, the president went to Truth Social and typed this. It has been fully agreed by and between Israel and Iran that there will be a complete and total ceasefire. Complete and total ceasefire is what he typed.
Yep.
What does that mean? How did it come about? What's the development here?
Well, we were actually working on that just as I left the White House to come over here. So that's good news that the president was able to get that across the finish line. I think what it means, Brett, is quite simple. First of all, the president, without, knock on wood, having a single American casualty, obliterated the Iranian nuclear program. We are now in a place where we weren't a week ago. A week ago, Iran was very close to having a nuclear weapon. Now, Iran is incapable of building a nuclear weapon with the equipment they have because we destroyed it. So that's a very, very big thing. Now, what that means, I think, is we have to talk to Iran and, of course, to Israel about what the future holds. Because while we have obliterated the Iranian nuclear program, our hope and our expectation is that they're not going to try to rebuild that program. And I think that's what the president is really trying to figure out here, is to build a long-term settlement here to where we can have peace in the region, where our regional allies and, of course, the American people, most importantly, can be secured, but where we can ensure that the destruction of the Iranian nuclear program that has already happened is not something they try to rebuild.
I'm not believing any of this shit. Call me cynical. I'm not buying it. None of it is making sense. I'll wait to hear back from the Iranian, supreme leader. I'm not buying it. It sounds like more ego stroking. Oh, we did this, and if it wasn't for us, they wouldn't have. And so we'll see. I want to hear more. I want to hear from the two parties involved. And even with that, I don't believe anything that comes out of the Israeli president's mouth, the prime minister. Yeah. I'm not buying it. It's just weird. It looks like more grandstanding, pats on the back. Because if that's the case, why even go there? Why even cause this? Why did Israel even bomb them in the first place, only to then, hurry up and say we want a ceasefire? And again, what happens to the people in Gaza? So, is anything going to be done about the 300 people that were just shot at while trying to get humanitarian aid yesterday? So I'm not buying it. I don't believe it. I'll wait till there's more information. I'm not buying it. Let me see. Oh, hold on. 7 minutes ago. More news. This just broke. Hold on. I'm sharing my screen. Look at this. I just said I'm not buying it. Just in. Iran has not received any ceasefire proposal. Iran is planning to intensify a strike on Israel, source CNN. What in the world is going on here? Iran has not received a ceasefire proposal and sees no reason for one, a senior Iranian official told CNN. The official said Iran will continue to fight until it achieves lasting peace, and that it views remarks from Israel and the U.S. as a deception intended to justify attacks on Iran's interests. At this very moment, the enemy is committing aggression against Iran, and Iran is on the verge of intensifying its retaliatory strikes with no ear to listen to lies of its enemy, the official said. What in the world? So he is saying one thing, and then this is saying another. Okay, I need the link. Let me see if there's any links. CNN has to be wrong. Somebody says you need to actually watch TV. It's on TV. Trump says Israel, Iran agreed to a ceasefire minutes before both nations warned of future strikes. I'm literally so confused. Oh, look, somebody look at their comment. I'm so damn confused. I'm glad it's not me. Look at this comment. They said the same thing I just said. I'm so confused. Person says Trump is a liar. We all know. It's batshit crazy to make all that up. What? I don't even know what to believe at this point. Let me see what's on CNN. See if they're talking about anything. 7 minutes ago, Trump ceasefire fully agreed between Iran. 4 minutes ago, national security analysts explained, okay, that's a strike.
Fareed, as is often the case in our current news cycles, as you were talking, the president just posted on Truth Social moments ago saying, quote, a ceasefire has been, quote, fully agreed to by Israel and Iran. There will be a complete and total ceasefire 6 hours from now. Again, this just happened. I don't want to spring this on you. And we're trying to figure out exactly what it means. It's a rather lengthy post on Truth Social. Again, we had been reporting, Clarissa and I were just discussing, that there were warnings about strikes in Tehran. There have been strikes throughout the course of the day. What do you think this means?
Well, it follows exactly what I was saying. Trump is now clearly trying to transition from war maker to peacemaker, and he's used his considerable influence with Bibi Netanyahu. Let's remember the Israelis also did massive damage. I would argue the Israeli strikes were probably more significant in setting back the Iranian program than even the American strikes, because they got to 20 of the top scientists, 20 of the top military officials, degraded almost every facility, destroyed Iran's air defenses. So Israel feels like it can stop. Trump wants to move into a peacemaking role. He wants it to stop. The Iranians obviously have it's only good for them because they have not been able to really respond in any sense to Israel's pummeling attacks because they don't have much capacity. But then the question becomes, what do those negotiations look like? The key stumbling block has been this. President Trump began the negotiations saying Iran could have some enrichment capacity, but it couldn't be the kind that could be weaponized. The Israeli position has been no, zero enrichment under any circumstances. The Iranian position has been we have to have the legal right to enrich, which is our right under the NPT. So that's where you have it. Israel and Iran were at complete loggerheads. The U.S. had a middle position. About 2 weeks ago, Trump moved to the Israeli position. So the question is, now that he wants to be a peacemaker, is there going to be any give there? Or do the Iranians feel they're so weak they have no option but to move to concede to the Israeli position? That is going to be the heart of the negotiations once they begin.
Yeah, the incompatible red lines haven't changed to any degree that we are aware of at this point. Fareed, stand by. I want to go straight to Jeff Zeleny over at the White House because, Jeff, we're all just digesting this in real time right now, and it seems there's a couple caveats, a couple elements in this. What do we know about what the president just posted?
Well, what we know is the president clearly is trying to move on very quickly, not only to turn the page, but to try and close the book on this entire 12-week episode. And we're seeing the message right there on Truth Social, which just came out. And Phil, I mean, never mind how extraordinary it is to basically explain what the president hopes would be the end of a war in a Truth Social post, rather than having officials actually explain it, or the president himself. But the question is, several come to mind. One, does the president speak for Iran here? I mean, he could certainly speak for Israel, more likely that an endgame would be in sight, as we've been reporting. But it's a very much an open question, what he knows that would lead to a ceasefire. But separate of all of this, Bill, the same question remained right now tonight as it did before this message was sent out. What about the Iran nuclear program? The president has insisted it was obliterated. The president has insisted that it was wiped away. There is no evidence of that yet. So you just get the sense that President Trump is trying to move on from this very quickly, as he often does on things that are somewhat controversial. This has been controversial among his movement. There's no doubt about that. There's a classified briefing on Capitol Hill tomorrow. Many deep questions from both sides of the aisle about this. So the president clearly is trying to put this in the rearview mirror. Well, that would defy history in one respect, but also, again, the question of what is left of Iran's nuclear program. And we simply do not know the answer to that.
Jeff Zeleny for us at the White House, thank you very much. We're going to continue to follow all of this breaking news. Joining us now is Democrat from Illinois, Congressman Mike Quigley. He's on the House Intelligence Committee. Congressman, as we kind of try and understand exactly what the president is laying out here on Truth Social, what's your initial reaction to the potential for a ceasefire that's being announced here?
Look, we always welcome a ceasefire. There's always room for...
Okay, I can't. Okay, I'm tired. The world is a stage. That's all I'm going to say. The world is a stage. None of this makes any sense. I don't think this is true. I think, once again, he's just typing and, he helped to create this same chaos that he's now trying to hurry up and sweep up and clean up. I'm not going to believe anything until I hear from the other three involved. Because what they always say, there's three sides to everything. His side, her side, and the truth. So I'm not buying it. It's all theatrics. I'm over it. It's just, the whole thing just does not make sense. I'm going to read these last few super chats because I've been on here for over 3 hours. So I'm going to get ready to go and go get some sleep. But let's see here. Trusting Success in 499 says, hello, T. I've been following you for ages. I love your commentary. But can we discuss the real reason why they're always fighting over there? Yeah, Israel. Israel. If you say it enough times, they'll believe it's real. And that's all I'm going to say about that. But thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you. Trendy Locks sent $4.99. She says, when there's confusion, there's deception. it's probably best to watch international news channels instead. Exactly. I mean, even the comments on Twitter were like, I'm confused right now because the president is saying one thing, CNN is saying another. I don't know if any international people have picked it up yet. Let me see if like anybody else. I just don't believe that, especially after he bombed the U.S. bases. Then all of a sudden it's like, oh, they're willing to just, so we're going to forget that our bases were bombed that are affecting our U.S. soldiers. And I don't even know if any, if there were any casualties, but it does not make sense. Al Jazeera is saying something, but they're just basically posting what they heard. Yeah, we'll probably have to wait until later. Yeah, they're saying the same thing. Let me see, what time is it in Iran? They might be asleep, child. Let's see, what time is it? Oh, it's 2:16 in the morning. How convenient. So I don't know nothing about this country like that. So this is the time right now in Iran. It's 2:16 in the morning. So they're over there knocked out sleep, child. Ain't nobody talking about no damn ceasefire at 2 o'clock in the morning. Get this shit off my timeline. I didn't know it was that. Ain't no conversations going on right now. He's asleep. The Israeli president is asleep. And Trump is just over here because it's 5:47 p.m. here where I'm at. Just running his mouth on Twitter. I'm not buying none of this shit. I'll wait until tomorrow afternoon and hear what the rest of the world got to say. No wonder why ain't nobody else covering it overseas. Everybody overseas is asleep. And I'm about to go to damn sleep. Shit. Objection. I've been up since 3. I'm going to bed. Talking about sleep. It's time for me to go to sleep. I'm not buying none of this shit. Okay. This has been a long stream. I enjoyed this. It feels good to be back here talking to y'all. So thank you guys so much for just sitting here with me for the past, 3 hours while we just talked about everything. And again, I don't want you guys to live in fear. Just stay educated, stay on top of what's going on. And I'm also going to give y'all information as I get it as well. But, don't allow fear to take hold. Still live your day-to-day life, still say your prayers, your affirmations, stay positive as you can. And just, again, keep as much negativity as you can away from you. You don't want anything that's going to drain your energy. We're already being drained by all of these games that are being played, these back and forth, these mental gymnastics. So y'all just take care of yourselves, everybody. Thank you guys once again. Thank you to everybody who sent a super chat, who joined the membership. I really, really appreciate y'all for just the love and support that y'all show me all the time on this channel. So I will talk to everybody later. Everyone have a good night. Be safe, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye, guys.